multiple times on the show, but like our success of raising them and rearing them and getting them to actually, adult size is I'd say it's close to the 5 to 10%. Like when you think about it,
Oh
that's
shit.
pretty like and to me I consider it making it when it's at least a year old. So
Okay.
we've successfully reared, I'd say, about four, maybe five babies in total, but I've
Mhm.
also had five clutches. So over the
Oh,
past
cool.
3 or 4 years. So, statistically speaking, I'd say I am probably the worst pygmy python breeder there is. But, you know, it's I can only get better from here, right? So that's the way I look at it. So yeah. But
Yeah.
they are amazing. Like they're small, they take no room, they're easy to care for, they're honestly like they're a joke. And once they start eating, you never ever need to worry about them. They eat everything, they
Yeah.
never miss a meal. Like overall, amazing animals. Just getting them to start and actually getting them established. Yeah, I'm not good.
Yeah.
It's a defeat that I've taken to the point that every time I have babies, I just send them to Shan and Shan does it. And his success rate is well, the 5 to 10% success rate is him. My actual
Ah.
success rate is zero. So like a big as, I've never made
Yeah.
one survive. So I mean, he's better than me, and he's definitely doing better. So, but yeah, and I mean, you hear about it every time, right? People talk about the fact that they're one of the hardest to get started. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, again, I'd recommend it. Just buy a baby that's established, and you're perfectly fine, and you'll never have an issue if your goal is not to breed them. And who knows, you
Yeah.
might be better than me.
Yeah. I had issues with Western stimmies, so probably won't do much
Oh,
better.
do you
And
like breeding them or just raising them?
I raising them. I've had two clutches. First clutch, all went bad. Second clutch, half three eggs went bad before what 2 weeks they were in the incubator, and then one popped out, or no, sorry, I cut one egg, it had a deformed spine, and then two popped out living, and then one died after a week, and the other lasted 3 months, 2 months, something like that, and then it rolled
that's kind of
in a really bad stuck shed.
Hmm.
so really the
Yeah, that
problem's
is
not
tough.
even getting him feeding.
Yeah, it's
Hmm.
getting good eggs. It seems like.
Do you
So
think it's
for
like an
getting
incubation with like maybe even humidity or something? Like maybe they need it a little drier. I don't know. I'm just
Yeah, I would assume so because I had them in there with the inlands. Inlands hatched no issues, and the eggs started molding pretty quick. So they could probably, I think they need a little bit drier.
hmm. Yeah. Like
see
with my subox and I think I did them. I listened to Chris Paint Shab and did the like 1-to-1 ratio kind of thing for weight of water to the weight of the perlite, and that seemed to work. And even maybe a touch drier than that kind of thing would be just fine. Because with
so
yeah,
no go Mike, sorry,
no,
I
you
keep
go.
trying to talk but I don't want to go over you. So stimmies are considered children, am I kind of right, or are they more considered no, they're
Simpsons.
Simpsons, but okay, they've been fused together, but
Well, yeah,
okay, similar-ish, right? So I've
yeah,
only bred
Don't
um
make Justin message
I know
us mid show.
Justin right now is I know that the last paper was paired together, and we can all agree that we do not agree with that paper. Um, but so I've done spotted pythons and I've done pygmies, but I incubate over water. So I literally put two
okay,
sponges. I put the incubator, not the incubator, fuck, the light diffuser grating on top. I put two layers of grating and then I put the eggs on top. The only thing I've done differently is that I find a lot of people try to stuff eggs in really small containers. I use big ass containers, like the shoebox. I'll put one clutch of pygmy pythons, which are like this big, right? The size of
yeah,
one egg. It'll be in a gigantic 6 quarts, and I've had 100% hatch rate in all my five clutches. I've done spotted pythons, I think only twice, and both of them I've had 100% hatch rate. So, and I've incubated the same way. And if I have like even carpet pythons, when I get big clutches, I separate them in multiple different bins. And I find that having bigger space tends to work really well. But again, I incubate over water. So
okay,
that's my way of doing it though. But I've had pretty good success overall. My incubation rate is always like over 95%. I have no problems hatching shit out. And spotted pythons all ate first shot, zero issues every clutch. Pygmy pythons horrible, bane of my existence. So I don't know where Stimsons kind of lie. I think Stimsons are closer to pygmies as trouble feeders. So
Yeah. That's what it seems like for me, at least.
oh.
Yeah, I was looking at the UK Python shipment, and they got some stimmies on there that are kind of intriguing, but like we had all of them up here at some point. Like Mickey Aslam had, I think he just had Tennant Creeks, so the northern stimmies, and then
Okay.
I think Don produced westerns a few years ago, but he probably just sent them all to Asia, kind of thing, because it's hard to sell stuff up here.
I was gonna say, it sounds like a lot of things move out of the country up there.
Yeah, like because our market's still like kind of small, so like if you have like spotteds and children's for $200 to $300, they'll sell, but you're not gonna get $500 to $1,000 kind of thing for what like kind of what stimmies should cost, and even like Antils. Like Antils will probably sell. You just have to wait for somebody that's actually like looking for them, kind of thing, right? So Dom's like, have you sold any yet, Dom, or no? They're
So we
still
have three for sale, and we put them at $800 Canadian, which is maybe 500 American, which I think is a
That's
very reasonable price.
that is
And
very reasonable.
guess how many we've sold? I'll give you a hint. I'm showing you the number. Absolutely none. Again, but we have three, and the longer I keep them, and then I'm going under $800. The amount of trouble and to get them there, to me, they're worth $800. So
Yeah, well, they're probably worth 1,000, honestly.
they should be
But
a grand at least. But
but at this point, like it's probably better to get them into somebody's hands who's gonna actually try to keep
yeah,
them going, kind of thing too, right?
I'm
So
not in a hurry. I have no problem selling them when they're a year old or a year and a half, and eventually they'll sell. And once, like all the three of them that we have from last year, they've eaten over 20 meals on their own now. So I consider them established, and there's zero issues with feeding them now. So I think I'll sell them eventually, just like the inlands. The inlands aren't selling either, and I'm selling them for pennies now because of
Yeah,
UK
it's
Python.
crazy.
UK Python has put his price so low that I have no choice. I can't compete. So like he put his inlands at what is it like 250, I think, or
It
something
was
like
like
I think it was less
350,
than.
something like that. Oh, really?
it's
I thought
how
it was
much?
like 100. I thought it was like 190 or so, like 190 pound, like sterling or
Right.
whatever it is.
Okay,
So
190
like
sterling silver. Yeah.
so that's like
350
under
bucks maybe.
300 probably.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell.
So
Like
which is insane. Anyway. So, but he's getting out of the hobby, so he keeps lowering his prices to get as many people to buy him, but indirectly kind of killing the market because there's only so many animals that are being sold here. But on the flip side of it, I hope that everybody buys as much stuff from him so we can get Stimsons, so we can get the two localities of Stimsons, so we can get the Pygmy Bandits, so we can get all this shit that is
yeah,
not in Canada. And hopefully some of those people will breed him and then they'll put it out there, right? But I can't buy everything, not like, you know what I mean?
you
So,
don't want to spend 6 grand on a gammon range.
oh, the gammon range, man. I wish, but no. Like, and the problem is, even if I got them and I bred them, who am I going to sell them to? Right? Like,
It's a
if
really
I can't,
nice $350 snake.
I can't move my inlands. You think gammon range? I can't move an inland at $350. How am I going to be able to move a gammon range at 3-4 grand? It's never going to move. That to me is just I'd be buying it for myself, nothing else.
Why do you think the market's so weird out there for you guys?
I think it's still pretty like ball python, crested gecko, kind of like even for colubrids, like what is it? Like Ty breeds blue-eyed health snakes that go for 800 American all day long. He can barely get 400 Canadian for them, and they take a while to sell. So like some like that's where like I was able to send stuff down to the you guys for like Subox and sending a pair of Kentuckys down too because like they'll sell all day long down there at the right price, but then I just have to kind of find the right wholesaler or something. But like wholesale down to you guys is still more than wholesale I'm getting here, so it's not too bad. But at least I have the option with non-CITES animals, so they can
Yeah.
go back and forth Sighty stuff, that's a whole nother ball game there, right? So that's definitely tougher.
There is a market for certain animals, just not all animals. Like when it comes to carpet pythons, I never have issues moving jungle carpets. And me and Shan together on average have about 6 clutches of jungles. And
Oh,
I move them all, right? Like right now I'm sitting on one super zebra. That's it. I have one super zebra jungle left for sale. That's it from all last year, right? Which to me is basically they're all gone, right? At some point I'll sell it. That's it. So every week I sell another two or three of the last ones and whatever. But I wholesale a lot too. But those always move. But if you look at certain things like West Papuans, all the granites will sell. The exanthics will sell. The normals are harder to move.
yeah.
Coastals, it depends. Like some people love coastals and they'll take all the crazy morphs, but usually they don't move that well. Brettles will move well, but at the cheap price, like $150, you'll move a normal anytime because they're the perfect pet snakes.
Yeah.
Um,
But
I'm
there's
thinking,
still like a lot of, well, then like, because guys like Don produce all that mixed stuff that they just
Yeah.
wholesale out to everybody. So it's kind of, I don't know. Like I feel like if we did more pure stuff and like the pure stuff was like the extra pet carpet, like that would be great, right? Like if
Yeah.
it was just pure coastals and IJs as like the pet carpet, that'd be fantastic. But right now they're like I've even heard about some people actually slipping in the breadlie cross stuff as like pure breadlie for the $150 price, and it's like because some
but
people were too lazy to change the label, kind
at
of
that
thing.
price, everybody does it. Like, you know how often I see people posting and it's like, I'm not going to put names. Like, they're going to be like, I don't know, beautiful um, hypo caramel for $300. They're like, oh, that's a pretty damn good price. And then I'm like, yeah,
It's het albino.
it's possible het albino, right? But that doesn't appear in the ad. But I know where they come from, and I'm like, just confirming that's what it is, and I'll put it in the comments, and like, yeah, it's a possible het albino. I'm like, but he never said it was pure. But when somebody reads carpet python, hypo, caramel, you kind of assume it's a pure coastal, and but you see that all the time where people will be like, yeah, it's a pure jungle, and then they reach out and then they're asking me like, I think it came from you, and I'm like, what are the parents? Oh, I bought it at a pet store. Apparently it comes from a Darwin and this, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what to tell you. Like the amount of people that reach out to me asking me, tell me that they got a snake from me, but not from me. And then it's like, yeah, where did it come from? You got it at this pet store. Cool. I never sold to them. And where did like ask them where it comes from, and they tell me these places. I'm like, yeah, that's not mine. Or they'll tell me like I got Bredleys from you, and I've never bred a Bredley, so I don't even know how that can be from me or shit like that, right? So it happens. In Canada, I find that there's maybe two or three people that breed pure, and the rest is all it's all mixed. It's all muck. Or you'll get the one person that breeds one clutch, but like, is there
a
anybody
lot of
around you? Like,
a lot of
there's
times that one,
Dawn.
yeah, but like a lot of times that one clutch is like a caramel zebra
Yeah,
albino clutch,
exactly.
right? Like it's, and then they're trying to sell everything from it, and it's just, I don't know. I wish people would just keep stuff pure, so then it would be like as much like I don't know, like albino carpets are cool, like they're never really gonna be fully pure, so like I kind of like those can be their thing because albinos sell, like they're still a nice pet snake and they're cool and it's cool to make all that stuff, but the rest of it kind of like I don't know. I don't see like I guess I don't know. Like it's like my buddy Ty has some of that neon jag stuff and the
Mhm.
oh he does have a pair of the those stonewash jag things that do look pretty. They do
Mm.
look kind of cool.
Yeah, they're sick. They are super sick.
Yeah, it's like okay, like I can get that even if a quarter of the babies might die kind of from it, it's still like there's gonna be a lot of cool babies that come out of those clutches, right? So like I get it, but it's just the amount of extra stuff you produce with it. Like especially if you have a big female, right? You're getting 20 to 25 eggs, and
Yeah.
only a few of them are going to be really nice.
Especially if you're trying to hit an odd for one snake, then what are you gonna do with the rest of them? You can be sitting on a lot of extra snakes.
Yeah, when
I've
you
said it.
produce pure stonewash hypos, like
Yeah,
those are
right.
freaking phenomenal,
Yeah.
right?
So I've said it multiple times. I have zero issues with hybrids or crosses as long as they're obvious crosses, right? So I have no problem with
Yeah.
somebody doing a diamond jungle jag Bredley cross because it's so fucked up nobody's going to confuse it. It's when somebody does like I don't know, a diamond jungle and then breeds back his 50% diamond jungle back to his
Yeah.
diamond and then they get to 88% diamond, 12.5% whatever. And at that point it's just a look-alike of a diamond. You can't even tell them apart. So why did you do that? Like that's what I have an issue with is when the animals look so close to the real thing, that just is garbage. To me, that is what shouldn't be done. If you're gonna go crazy with the morphs, fuck, go for it. Do a like an exanthic albino jag zebra, right? Like who cares? It's never gonna be confused for anything else. Like go crazy if you want to do it. But go down the crazy route. Don't just go, I'm gonna breed a cross only to try to make it look as pure as I can. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
To me it makes no
Might as well
sense.
get two pure parents at that point.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
that's my pet peeve anyway.
Yeah, I wonder what happened to the because Mickey produced that like piebald reduced pattern that he then bred to an albino carpet.
I know exactly what happened, but I can't say. I'll tell you.
But there should be some babies circulating somewhere, but I guess not.
there is, and I can't say more.
Okay.
But one day there'll be a surprise. Well, you know, Mikey, you can talk to him after.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not at liberty of talking about that.
Yeah, that's fine.
So how about we start the show there? Everybody, welcome. That's the heck is the name of our show there? Fuck.
We're
Jesus,
17
I
minutes
started
in.
drinking.
Well, welcome to
Alright,
Reptile Rejects.
Yeah.
Tonight we got on Brandon Valentine from Arizona, part of the Arizona clan of guys that they got going on down there, kind of thing, with one of the Ustins and then Alex Wang and all those guys. Did I say that right, or did I fuck up Alex's name?
Alex Wong.
I almost had it right.
Is it
Close enough.
WONG?
No, it's
Haung. G.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he just did some stuff with Dave. Oh yeah, he was on Dave's show with Steven. That was hilarious. Alex is so funny. We'll have to get him on the show.
He's a
too,
character
at some
for
point.
sure.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
We'll have to have Dustin on too, because Dustin has his own cool stuff going on, right?
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we got Brandon on, and I think first I should mention our sponsors before we get too far into this. We are proudly sponsored by Cornell's World, one of North America's leaders in reptile caging. They make custom and standard PVC cages. So if you have anything specific in mind, Greg West can make it happen. You can also make custom glass terrariums, like those classic Euro-style dart frog enclosures. He's actually not too bad with glass. That used to be his old job. And then they also carry lots of reptile supplies, from herp stats to heat panels to cleaning supplies to Arcadia lights to Zoom Ed and Exoterra. Basically, whatever you need, Greg has it, including shipping supplies. So go check out cornellsworld.com and go tell them where you heard about them. And then we're also gladly sponsored by the Western Canadian Reptile Expo, happening in April. The next one's happening April 18th and 19th in Calgary at the Acadia Rec Center. So that should be a pretty good show. They had their first Calgary Spring Show last year, and it was their biggest WCRE event yet. So hopefully this April could be even bigger, and hopefully that carries over to the Medicine Hat and the big August show that they put on as well. So yeah, go check out WCRE.ca and get your tickets ahead of time to beat the line. Alrighty, Dom, do you want to start us off?
Sure. Not quite sure where
Even
to
though
go,
we're already
but,
started.
I was gonna say I think we started a little while ago, but you know what? Before we start chatting with Brandon, let's go with the just the typical shit. What's new? What's new in my collection? Let's see. Well, I was expecting 2 clutches, and somehow I don't think I'm gonna get 2 clutches this week. My pygmy python, which is full of eggs, and I can confirm she is full of eggs because I can literally count them and feel them. Went into shed, was due March 10th and had a really shitty shed. Like the front of her face and the back of her neck wasn't coming off, so I ended up giving her a bath, got like most of it off, gave her a second bath the next day, got most even more off, and 14 days later she's blue again and going back into a shed. So now I'm stuck to the at what point do I consider the prelay shed? Because I know she's gravid. Like she's when a pygmy is gravid, it's obvious. You can literally see the eggs and count them. So I have no idea when she's gonna lay, but she might lay after I move. She might lay before. I was hoping for after, but yeah, we'll see. She's moved out of her cage and into a bin with 100% moss everywhere. I told myself I'm going to try to maternally incubate, let her maternally incubate, and we'll see. I'll probably pussy out, but I'm still trying. Um, Except for that, what else is new? I mean, collection's all good. Everything's moving around. Things are still breeding. Um, I think I've had possibly another ovulation. I'm not 100% certain. I think it came at the end or it's just swelling. Yeah, life is good. Packing, getting ready to move. And yeah. What about you, Michael? What's new?
Eh, not too much. The female Bahama is, I don't know, swelling and in shed, and the male, the her mate is also in shed since the move. So I'm not. I don't think she's like gravid, but I think she's maybe getting ready for like a pre-ovulation kind of thing. Like she's pretty thick, and I fed her over 2 weeks ago now. So like it can't be a food bolus in there, but she's looking large. So maybe it's just hopefully she's just building, and then as soon as they shed, maybe they'll actually want to breed this time. So fingers are crossed for that. At least I have an extra male I can kind of use to hopefully get the other male going. But so far, like last week, I tried to pair him a couple times, and it's that classic running to the opposite sides of the enclosure from each other. So I think it's not time yet. So we'll see. Once they shed, I'll maybe leave them together for a day or two and see if they start cuddling up or not. So because like I think Cody Joe sent me a picture last fall of his pair of the same from the same litter from Jeff, and they were locked up randomly. Like he's had the same issue where they just hate each other, and then randomly in like November they were locked up because he just had them together just to see when they would. Probably like I don't think he's having babies because of that lock, but at least that shows that they kind of want to breed at some point. So I guess we'll have to keep trying and hopefully that comes out because it would be cool to have 25 Bahama boas up here kind of thing and raise them up and even just spread them around. They're not definitely not going to make money off them, but it'd be cool just to get them more established up here like they probably used to be back when Tom Huff and that were working with all that cool stuff. Other than that, everything's eating. Hopefully gonna start, I think I'm gonna start pairing up the Kentucky Pine soon just to make sure I don't miss any ovulations. And then maybe pair up the black milk as well. And then Subocs aren't gonna breed for another kind of month and a half, 2 months, I think. So have a little bit of a ways with those guys. But yeah. And then, oh, the yellow spotted newts. They started laying eggs since I put them in water since I moved here. So hopefully, hopefully those eggs are fertile. I just gave her another water change today, so hopefully that kicks her into gear. And maybe I'll actually get some egg masses rather than just periodically eggs throughout on the sponge filters and the plants and stuff. So we'll see about that. And then I'm kind of thinking I might want to get some frog projects, like even maybe try to breed Pac-Man frogs or something, just because recently there hasn't been too many. So most of the time our people up here get Pac-Man's kind of imported from Indo and the US. So I don't know, maybe I'll do a pair or two of maybe some mutants and greens or something and see what pops out. So maybe give that a try and maybe try some other frog species too, but we'll see. I'll play it by ear. Try not to give myself too much to worry about, but at the same time, it'd be fun to try some new projects out. But yeah. What about you, Brandon? Anything going on in your snake room right now?
Everything's getting settled in. just moved into a new place, so breeding season's probably fucked up, but we'll see how it goes. I get stuff paired, but I'm not looking too forward or thinking too highly of it this year, but play by ear.
Yeah, yeah. I just moved 2 weeks ago. I like did it. I lined it up so that like the colubrids like came out of brumation and moved and then had their first meal. So hopefully the colubrids are like fine, kind of thing. But I the Bahama boas like who knows, right? Like West Indian boas, like, especially Bahamas just seem to be weird, right? Like Rob has like no issues like breeding his Puerto Ricans and Jamaicans,
Mm.
but for whatever reason, like even like other than Steve, right, who seems to be able to breed like any Calabothrus, right? Like they seem to have issues, like whether it's Fosteri or Strigulatus or
Mm.
Fowleri, like everybody else seems to not have it go as smoothly, right? So it'd be kind of cool to figure them out. But yeah, yeah. How are your Calabothrus doing? Because you got Bob sent you down some, right?
Yeah, I just got some Puerto Ricans. I have a reverse trio. They're doing good. Took him a minute to get eating good. He sent them non-feeding, but a couple of null butts and they were eating fine now. They're on hoppers? No, fuzzies. Yeah,
Nice.
no issues with them at all. They're starting to turn really orange, but then they're gonna get really black here soon.
Yeah.
I've heard from a couple of people though. Sometimes a move actually gives them their best breeding year ever, and other people it's just like a complete freaking disaster. So who knows, man? It might feel like
Yeah.
nothing's working, and keep in mind, I guarantee you, Michael, everybody has that. There's a certain 2 to 3 week section in your breeding season where you're like, I'm not producing anything this year.
Yeah,
Fuck
nothing's
it,
going.
getting nothing. Nothing's going. Everything's not working. And then you end up
Yeah.
having a crazy year, like 5, 6 weeks later, like, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. So I feel like I'm at that section right now where it feels like nothing's happening, but I get that feeling every single year. So I get told all the time, like, shut up, you know they're coming. Just calm down, you know.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe it'll
Yeah.
come for you then, Brandon.
Yeah. Yeah, I just fed everything too, so give them a week or so and then start pairing some more things together.
So, Brandon, do you mind kind of going, where do you fit in herbiculture? What do you keep? Like, you can give us a quick, little blurb of who Brandon is, just so I know, because I've heard you on a few podcasts, but we've never actually spoken. So, um, you give us the intro you want, and as long as you want it, we're
Yeah.
listening.
Um, just a python guy in the desert trying to keep these things alive with a couple colubrids and some bows and some other odds and ends. It's the easiest way to say it. Grew up in San Diego. Moved out here when I was like 16. Found herping, met a bunch of buddies, and then the rest is history, pretty much.
Good enough. Let's start with the boas. So, I heard you say Puerto Rican. Do you keep anything else, or is that
Yeah,
it?
so I got the Puerto Ricans, uh Argentine lone female Argentine boa, trio of Russian burgai, some rosy boas, some rubber boas. Mm, I think that's pretty much it for the boas. I don't got too many boas.
Are you keeping boas mainly as pets, or is your goal to breed?
To breed at some point.
To
A lot
breed,
of them are
okay.
still pretty young. Either one side or the other is pretty young, so a lot of it's still growing up for the most part.
Fair enough. How about let's start with the collar side of things this time, just so Michael doesn't fall asleep right away. Is he even listening? Yeah, okay. So what do you keep collie wise? And Michael, you got to help me out on this side.
So for the most part, it's subox, the Transpicus rat snakes, um, the Baja gopher snakes, so Vertebralis and Bimaris. So basically, the northern Bajas and the southern Bajas, easiest way to describe it. And then got some gray bands, Senecolis, the green rat snakes, Cal Kings, Desert King. Ooh. That's pretty much it for colubrids, I believe. I'm probably missing something, but
Have you bred the majority of those, or you're still in the works?
Nope.
How
Still
about
in the
let's
works.
start? Okay, how about gray bands? Have you bred them yet, or no?
Nope.
No.
I
Okay,
got two
so
different localities, so I need to work on getting a pair for each locality, or the other end of the pair for each
okay.
locality.
So which locality do you have, if you don't mind me asking?
Olympia Canyon and oh shit, what's the female? I can never remember what this female is. She's dark. She's a super dark one, and Paint Shop
Some
absolutely hates these
some
dark
sort
little
of.
girls.
Oh, is it that? Is it 3 miles west? No,
No, it's
Is it
8 miles
8 Mile
west.
Road? There's one that's
no,
I'm just
it
thinking of his Dark Knight stuff, but or is
no,
it just a Davis?
no,
Is it a Davis animal? Maybe.
I believe so. It's
how
from
I was gonna say, how
Mervyn's.
about you describe them? Because they all kind of look different, right? But they've got their certain looks.
But the thing is, like different, like you can look, like they can look the same as another locality, right? Like
Yeah.
that's the thing, right? You can't really go off
Fair enough.
looks. But I think I get what he means by it being a darker. Like I haven't told you yet, Dom, but I lined up Brian Box for the week you guys are
Okay.
where you're moving. So that'll be a fun listen for you and
Are
Shan
you?
because he's a big Alterna guy. His dad is one of the founders in the Alterna
You know what?
game.
It's too bad because if you would have done that show with Shan, he would have like been so happy
Yeah.
because he's huge into Alterna now, and but he's helping me move. That's
But
what
now it's easier to listen though. You don't have to listen to yourself
it's
talk.
true. And the podcast can be so much better without me on it. So I mean, it can only get better from there.
Maybe not. We'll see. We'll see how I do by myself.
So Collier Rise, Brandon, have you paired up? Are you pairing up anything this year? No,
Nope,
everything's
nothing.
raising up.
Yep, for the most part, yeah. One side or the other. Some of them are still pretty small for the most part. So it's kind of size thing at this point.
Hey, so it's fair to assume you just started into Collarbrids a few years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. 100%.
So I gotta ask, if you describe yourself as a Python guy, why did you divert into the Collarbrids? Like, what made you go down that road?
Herping. Herping
Oh, really?
100%. Yeah. Drove me down that way. And then my buddies are evil and like to show me things that are extremely cool, like these guys. These fucking love the Baja Gophers.
I say that. So I couldn't tell you if it, but to me that looks like a pit, right? It could be a
Yep.
gopher, it could be a bull snake, could be like that's what it looks like to me. Like I couldn't even tell the difference. So how about this? What the heck is the difference? How do you tell the difference between a gopher and a bull snake? Is there a visual
Uh,
difference except for localities or
it's just
Well,
size, basically locality though.
yeah,
When I
like bulls are tech. A
bulls are
gopher
bigger?
snake isn't a bull snake, but a bull snake is a gopher snake in terms of taxonomy currently. Even though bull snakes have a huge range, and there's some like dwarf localities of them and stuff too, I believe. Like I don't know, like I'm not necessarily a taxonomist at all, but like just by seeing the sheer range of bull snakes, they should probably just be their own species, right? Like just separate from gophers,
no.
just kind of thing. Like because right now, like gopher snakes are like 9 subspecies, kind of thing.
Yeah, something like
So
that.
and bulls are one of those subspecies, and then you got like Great Basins and San Diegos and Pacifics and Sonorans and actually that might be
When
it
it
might
comes
be.
to
There's a couple other little ones like not Santa Ana, Santa
isn't there
Cruz.
isn't there
And
three
that, but
types
yeah,
of pits though? Like Pythiopus, there's gopher snake, bull snakes. Isn't there one more?
Pine snake.
There
pine.
you go. Thank you.
Yeah,
And again, don't they like if you
pines
remove the
are
pink?
a bit different though.
Yeah.
Like pines are like usually like they have like a different kind of pattern going on. Although like Louisiana's, there was some talk recently. I think Schrumbauer was mentioning that they almost want to make Louisiana's into the gopher snake complex with bull snakes and that, which is like kind of silly because like they're their own thing. Like their eggs, just like the fact that they have like massive eggs and are totally different. Kind of like they're just their own thing. Like it's kind of silly that they want to jam them all into the same. Well, they should almost be like kind
Clade.
of splitting them up, right? So yeah, but yeah, technically a bull snake is a gopher snake in terms of current taxonomy. But like, yeah, like bull snakes are bigger, gophers are like smaller, like they're more like a corn snake like size, I want to say, like 4.5 feet kind of thing is I would say.
There's some
Like they
big
can get bigger.
gophers.
They definitely get bigger. But like on average, they're like
Yeah.
around that
Exactly.
size for wild ones at least. And then Cape gophers are their own thing. Like Cape gophers are their own two subspecies within their species. Like that's a picture I just brought up. Like they're funky and they only live on the Baja Peninsula of Mexico.
Yep.
And then what is it? I'm not. They call them pine snakes, but I think they're almost more of like a
Depi.
bull snake. Yeah, Depi and Depi Johni. Depi Johni,
Yep.
you'll see a lot more. Like they're those Mexican like bull or gophers that have the orange all over them kind of thing. Uh, you'll sometimes see them around. There was somebody breeding them up here, but they're not anymore. So I'm not sure how many are still around. And then going down into Guatemala, there's these massive. They call them.
Gibsoni.
They're like bull. Yeah, Gibsoni and the Lineaticola stuff. Like those things
Yep.
get like 7-8 feet. Like they're massive.
Monsters.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Yep.
The original ones used to lay so many eggs, and now their gene pool is pretty small. So you're lucky if you produce that much out of them. But yeah, there's Pituophis is a massive genus that is definitely one of my loves because I love my Kentuckys.
Yeah, it's definitely a hole you can fall down.
Yeah, I could see that. I've always had a special love for bull snakes. I don't know why. I think it's purely because it was one of the first snakes I've owned. And it's funny because like the first three snakes I had was a ball python, a mutt carpet python, and a bull snake. And somehow, like I've kept all three and went down the road of all three and ended up more in one of them. But totally could have went down either of the routes and yeah, they still have a thing for me. And then to me, after pits, it's the king snakes. But the alternatives, I just love the idea of all the localities and the differences. And like, to me, it's more like just like low. It's more like very specific breeding, right? They're breeding a look to produce pure looks or pure localities, right? I love that. I think they're just really cool. And I think if you, Brandon, if you are looking to go into pygmies, um, the king snakes are really good practice because they're a pain in the ass to get started too, and they're
Yeah.
tiny as well. I think they're a little bit bigger than pygmy pythons when they're born. I'm not sure. I'd have probably could ask, could check around. Actually, Shan has bred both, right? So I probably could ask him the
Okay.
different sizes. But they're like, I don't know. What a baby pygmy is about what this long, like maybe
Jesus.
3.5 inches
Yeah.
long, give or take. Like it's insane. Like it's the size of like a cord of anything, like an iPhone cable, whatever, like a charging cable. It's insanely small.
I think the gray bands are probably a little bit bigger than that, honestly.
Yeah,
That's
trying to
fucking.
think. Yeah.
You didn't check out any of Shan's because he bred a bunch of them this year, right?
No, I did. But he bred, so he has an adult pair of just whatever king snakes. They're like gray banded king snakes. They're just not a locality. They're just the typical gray, orange, gray, whatever. Right? So he's bred those and he sold them all wholesale instantly when they were born for like $250 each, and like it's good money. It works well, but he does have the 8 mile or 9 mile. I think it's 8 mile, which basically has no orange on it. It's only gray, black, and gray, black. Does that make sense, or am I wrong?
Mhm.
Anyway, he has that locality, but they've been growing up, so they're not at breeding size yet. But if he ever has babies, I think I'm gonna grab a pair of those.
Huh.
So to me, those are pretty cool. Yeah, maybe
yeah.
I'll have collie breeds one day. See?
There you
Yeah,
go.
maybe.
Yeah, my issue is my buddy gives me animals and doesn't give me tags on them, so I got to try to remember what he told me.
Well, you got to write it down, man. Make a note somewhere.
Yeah, fucking honestly,
Is that Chris or is that somebody else?
it's Alex.
Ah.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
let's go down the Python. What do you keep Python with?
Oh shit. Okay, we'll be here a second. I just
Species.
got a pair of roughies, scrubs, all of the liasis minus olives, um, scrubs, carpets, the ants, got some balls. And that's pretty much it for the most part, I think.
All right, there's a lot to open there. Which group do you want to go down first, Mike?
Hmm. Well, we could go down the carpets and all that, I guess.
We kind of
Moralia
talked about the.
route.
All right, let's start with the
Or
carpets. Do you keep every family in there, or do you keep every subspecies, I should say? So do you have breadleaves, inlands, Darwins?
Nope.
No.
So I don't have Brettles, don't have diamonds. Yeah, I think that's the only two I'm missing, I believe.
That- Okay, so
It's
let
missing
me ask
Brettles and
it
diamonds.
differently. Let's start with, are you a purist or are you a designer?
I'm on both sides. Just depends what it
You're
is.
a
I love my
fence lover.
localities. Yeah, I love riding that fucking fence. But I know not to pair localities to the designer stuff. I'm smart enough for that. I don't muddy any of those waters up.
Okay, so talk to me. What are the projects that you're doing carpet wise? What excites you? What in there is like that's what I want to produce or that's what I'm working towards?
I got my reduced pattern Darwins. Those are number one, but my female is she pisses me off every single day. This thing is the meanest snake I have, and this thing does not love eating at all. It just wants to hit. This thing's a pain in the ass. And then I
I
got my inlands.
freaking
Love
love
my
the look
inlands.
of the reduced pattern. Like it is one of the nicest looking carpets that we don't have here. It's just not available. There's no one that has them
Yeah.
or brought them in. But yeah, I totally get it. Cool. Sorry, keep going. I'd shut to say it.
No, you're good. Yeah, the inlands. I've produced inlands. That's the only carpets I've produced so far. Hopefully, I can get another clutch this year if moving didn't throw it all off. Um,
Did you produce the inlands the winter breedaway or the spring breedaway?
one breeding.
Winter.
I just yeah paired on my
So,
pair everything else.
and how low did you go? Like 65, 68?
68, I think. Somewhere in between there. Not,
I
I
find
didn't
it
get them cold, much cold at all.
I find it so interesting. I keep asking people. There seems to be more people that breed them, like winter breeders than spring. I bred mine, and she's gravid again. And I went down. I say 64, but I don't think my room actually maybe gets to 65 max. So
Okay,
same idea, and she's gonna go a second year in a row now.
sweet. Yeah, I kind of had a theory on that. I don't know when they came in or anything like that, or how much any of that's been muddied up, but I have a feeling that like where they were collected from maybe had something to do with that. If they were more northern, they might be more inclined to breeding at that winter temperature, and if they're more southern, but I couldn't tell you. I got their Schofield to Mog, both parents or both Mog to Schofield.
Yeah, that's exactly. So my two parents are the males of Schofield, the females of Mog, and the babies from last year I held back 1.1, and they're all a 50-50 of the two lines. And I mean, I don't know. I can't really tell the colors right now. I'll be honest. I don't see any of that rust red on them, but I assume that might come a little later in age. And
Yeah.
I've got a second female, which is a totally unrelated lineage. So, which is one of the ones from UK Python that has a mystery line that came in somehow that is not related to the Mog or the Schofield line.
That's funny.
Though,
So yeah, my female looks like that one on the that was on the right. She's really dark, and then my male is really light. I have a picture. I don't know if I could send it to you of them snuggled up together, and you can definitely tell the difference between them. Let me
yeah, you can
see.
just send it to me. I can email it to myself and throw it up on the
Okay.
screen.
so the dark one, it says it's Mog Schofield, so it's a 50-50.
Yeah, I just was browsing through Nick's site to try to find reduced pattern Darwins,
Oh.
and I unlucky on finding those. But we were talking about this, so I threw it up on the screen.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. They're super dark. But then like this Mog has like some orange coming through and stuff.
Here, I'll show you one of the babies
But
from last year that
one
is
up
a
there, super nice. No beginnies. Nick hasn't. We need to get on Nick. He hasn't updated his 2024 or 2025 pairings yet. We need his lineage charts. Although
There's no way, man. He always talks about how he updates everything. He says he sells something that day, it's updated.
These are pretty nice looking albino Darwins. See, Paul had pure albino Darwins at one point.
Let me see. Would it be easier if I just send it to you on Instagram?
Yeah, I can send it to myself. It should be
Okay.
pretty easy. Yeah, see, look, lineage chart 2023. Look at that, Nick Mutton. Where's the update? His for sale page does look fully updated. So
Can you guys see that? So that's a
Yeah.
50-50. That would be half Schofield, half...
Okay.
I'm trying to see how well it's focusing, but like to me that has zero red. But again, it's still young, right? So, but this would be like I don't know what, it's born May last year, right? So, I don't know, it's about 9 or so month old, but I don't know what it'll look like as an adult because I don't own any 50-50s like of the two lines, so I'm curious to see what they grow up as.
okay,
I
maybe
sent
like
you
a
a
mix.
picture. I sent you a picture of the parents and the one of the offspring.
Sweet.
Yeah, I love my inlands. My boys, how big's your pair?
So the male's probably, I don't know, maybe like 6 feet max,
Damn.
but he's small. He's like, I
Okay.
don't know, like golf ball around, but he's a 2015. So I've had
Okay.
that male forever, and I've tried for years and years trying to get a female, and I couldn't get a female. I acquired two more males that were sold to me as females that turned out to be males, and eventually ended up. So my male, I've had a male for over a decade now, and you know, so he's long, but he's skinny because
Yeah.
I kind of I'm not the nicest to my boys. So
Yeah.
like he's very healthy, but he has grown long over the decade. So to me, he's healthy. The females are probably around 5.5 feet, maybe 5.5, and they're
Okay.
larger because I beef
Beat
them
'em
up
a
a
little
little
more.
bit before exactly
Yeah.
because as soon as they lay, then they look like skinny or inverted balloons, like all sucked in.
Yeah.
How big are
Yeah.
yours?
So my boy is probably like 3.5, 4 feet
Okay.
with his head. He's got that thick carpet head, but his head's like that big. And the female's probably 5 foot, if that. I think I got eight eggs out of her last year. Eight. One was bad from the beginning, and then I had one drown in the egg because I didn't pull them apart. But
That sucks. Trying to think. I'm looking right now at the pictures. I think mine gave me 12 eggs, and I got 11 to hatch out. One was I don't know, rotted or died at some point. And
good.
is that Mikey? He's actually on here? Wow. So Mikey, can we tell your story about the piebald?
I think you're.
Let's see if he says it.
It's Mickey, Dom.
Well, I'm gonna say his name. Okay, so I gotta say this. So I'm gonna say it whatever way he says. When he talks, I understand only half of what he's saying. So he called me this week, okay, and I was like, "Who the fuck is that?" For like the first few seconds, because like I don't know anybody who speaks like that. He's British, and I don't know why I didn't know, but as soon as he started talking to me, I'm like,
You didn't
who
know?
the heck? I didn't know. I just assumed he was some white guy with just a typical Canadian accent, right? But he's British and speaking with all his fancy accent. I had no idea, so I'm sure he's listening right now, smacking his head against the computer. But yeah, it was pretty funny anyway. But if he one day, if he ever agrees, we want him on a podcast. I'm still trying to get him to get it going. Holy shit! What is that picture? That's beautiful. Those are yours?
That's my pair. Yep. That's the boy on
Yeah.
top, and then the female sticking her little head out.
Yeah, see
Yeah,
if
those
I
do look nice.
they are gorgeous, but if I looked at them, I would say they both look Schofield to me because that's the look that I usually see in Schofield.
Okay.
Because I'm not seeing any of the copper. I'm seeing more like but that's just my
So
opinion.
the boy's tail has a lot more red or that
Yeah.
copper tone near the end of it. Not any. It's like the last quarter of them has it.
Hmm.
Yeah, that contrast on him is. I love that snake so much.
Yeah. Yeah, well, even Nick's lineage chart shows that they kind of vary a little bit, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like I'm sure, cause have you only bred them once, or have you bred them a couple
Yeah.
years now?
Oh, first time pairing was last year. It's the only
Okay.
time I paired them. I got four out of the six babies. I sent a pair off to TJ, my buddy here.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it'll be cool to see how they like. I guess Dr. J would kind of know because he's definitely produced a bunch over the years.
Hmm.
It'd be cool to see like kind of from what pairing, like what variation you get in terms of if some do kind of get some orange or copper with them, right? Or
Yeah.
if they're mostly kind of what the parents look like would be pretty interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the one baby that I can't remember if that one was the holdback that I took the picture of, but they lightened up pretty quick for me for the most part compared to what they popped out as.
But yeah, Dom, is that kind of what your babies looked like or look
Well,
like right now?
I showed you one. They're to me they're a lot lighter, but
Hmm.
I'd say, I mean, they kind of all resemble each other to a certain degree. It all depends on how many
Yeah.
sheds, right? Because if that baby's only had two sheds and mine have had
Yeah.
six, you know what I mean? Like mine
Yeah.
looked like that at some point. So it all depends on how many sheds they've had, right? So if
Yeah.
mine are eating faster, they'll have shed more and they're going to be lighter already. So it's hard
Yeah.
to say, but they definitely looked exactly like that at some point. So, what I personally,
Yep.
what I've always loved about the inlands, it's that freaking arrow head, right? The banding on their head. It's the only carpet that really has that perfect arrow-shaped head.
Yeah.
It's one of the things I've always loved about them, anyway.
Yeah, I think they're cool just because like they're almost like I love the copper ones, but they're like a natural exantic snake. Like why
Yeah.
do you need an exantic coastal or IJ when you could get a nice inland, right? Like it's a species. It's not even a morph, right? Like their pattern is also neat because it's like a little different.
Yeah.
So like they have their own kind of way they look. Although
That being
looking at
said,
Nick, or
if
no, you
Silver
go.
Pepper was here, though, I'd be pretty freaking happy. All right, sorry, go
Oh
for
yeah.
it.
Oh
I
yeah.
was gonna
Definitely.
say like those was it, I think when I had Nick's page up, he had was it Cape Yorks? Those things look kind of funky too. Like a different,
Yeah.
like they almost look like inlands, but like a different, a much lighter, but like their head, they look different, right? Like those things look kind of funky. I think those are on Paul's list. I think Paul
They
had
are,
a
and the
couple
crazy thing, though, a Cape
locales.
York would be considered like Variegata, right? Or a
Yeah,
Papuan,
yeah,
which
I
is
think
Yeah.
so.
even crazier.
Yeah, it'd be cool to get the Brisbanes or something, but obviously, is it Brisbane's the ones that get cancer or something like that? Or there's,
Yeah. I've heard a lot of them end up dying
yeah.
from rolling from cancer. I got a pair of Brisbane's too.
Oh, are yours from Nick as well, or are they from?
No, one's from Wheeler. Well, I guess technically, yeah, from Nick. One, I think it's probably all from Nick because one's from Wheeler, the female's from Wheeler, and then the male is from Owen McIntyre.
Oh, nice, nice. That'll be cool. I just realized we need to have Michael Pinnell on. He'd be pretty cool to have on.
Yeah.
That would be sweet, actually. Yeah. See, Brisbane's, we don't have Brisbane's. Um, because in order for us to have Brisbane's, Nick would have had to send some to UK and then UK produce them and then UK Python sell them to us. That's the only way they get here for some reason. And
That's
there's
insane.
never been, but there's never been Brisbane's available by him. Therefore, they've never come through the country. So we don't have.
Well, maybe they were back in. Maybe that's how Nick got them originally, possibly. But
Well, they
oh,
swapped, but I don't
what
think
would
they've ever been in the country, like our
yeah, what
country,
would be cool
Canada.
would be to get would be to get what locality does Derek have? Because he has is it a locality of jungles? Or is it a locality of coastals, Roddy? Because he has that Hank Molt line of animals, right?
Are you talking about the Atherton table
Yeah.
inns?
Yeah.
I haven't seen
Those
those
would be
available in a very long time.
yeah. I guess somebody needs to hit up Derek. I'm sure there's some kicking around that he could let go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be cool. That'd be super cool. They have a very unique look to them from what I remember.
Yeah. I don't even think I've seen a picture of one because like Derek's like the main guy working with them, and I'm surprised. Well, Nick probably has literally everything, so they're
Yeah.
probably hidden somewhere in his collection. He just hasn't read them. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I think I saw them on Fauna back in the day, back in the day for me, like fucking 5 years ago, 5, 6 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
I almost pulled the trigger on them. I should have done it because it was a pair too.
Yeah. Yeah. Dom, have you ever checked Fauna? Because there's some the old school guys use Fauna
Oh,
still.
fuck yeah.
Like
That's where I found a
they don't
lot
use
of cool
Morph
shit.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that
I
like
see a lot of cool shit.
Like when you talk about Morph Market, I never look at Morph Market because everything's American. I can't get it anyway
Yeah.
because there's no point.
yeah. I don't know.
Right,
Sometimes
so-
I check it just to see kind of what's
Well,
going on.
Fauna Europeans also post on there too.
Yeah. Well, the Touristica or Touristi, the German classifieds, there's some funky stuff on there too.
there.
I check that out. Like they have like rough-scaled sand boas. There's like lists of like 30 different like line bred morphs of rough-scaled sand boas and lots of funky stuff. Like all those Colombian rainbow morphs are like $200 on there. Like I guess it's a little more than it would be here, but like they're like really cheap compared to like I'm not even sure what they go for. Mickey's the only one that breeds them up here, so he kind of controls that market.
So
But
what
yeah,
counties
those
do you guys have up there for carpets?
gelatins.
Is that
So
about
definitely gelatins because I've got, well, Shan's bred a lot of gelatins, and I would argue that Shan's produce some of the nicest gelatins in anywhere. Like they're insane. So right now, if we wanted to, we could order everything from UK Pythons. So I don't think they're there, but there are Cape Yorks. Do you know what other locality? There's Cape Yorks, there's gelatins, there's I mean it's not a locality, but there's mix ivories, so like 75%
Yeah.
ivories, which is not a locality, but trying to think, do you remember any other ones?
I
I'd
looked
have
at
to
it
look at the
once.
list.
I looked at the
Yeah.
list once, and then I lost the list. I couldn't get the list back open again.
Yeah.
No.
I guess I could maybe I'll take a look at it.
Like there's a lot. There's a lot. Like, but when I look at the carpets, I'll be honest, like I would have loved to have UK Python come on, but he doesn't really like to do podcasts. But UK Python I see similar as Don.
Or
Don
does
Patterson.
Brandon remember that one episode that Paul was supposed to do with Nick, and that it's
He did
like,
do
the
it.
title?
He did it.
No, he didn't.
Oh.
I listened to that whole episode like 4 times.
Oh
I
yes,
always,
I remember
I
that.
always forget that Paul never actually jumps on. So I'm like, oh, I'll listen to that, and then it's just Nick talking for 3 hours, which is like great, but you kind of want to hear Paul.
Hey, one time, waiting for
I
my
meant something else. So Paul did do an episode with Nick for his podcast that he never released. He said it. He's got a big episode, him and Paul, but he never released it. So he did like 5 or 6 episodes, and they're just somewhere in his bank that nobody will ever hear about him. So there is one with him, but yeah. So what I was trying to say is that I see UK Python similar as Don, where they've produced tons of really, really cool shit, but they've gone really high into the designer, right? Because if you look at UK Python, most of his carpets are mixed, right? They're crosses, they're hybrids, and he's done tons and tons of it, and very morph heavy into mixing all the different morphs of the different genus together, right? So I don't know, it doesn't work for me. So whenever I look at that, it's like what's pure, and there's nothing, right? So I kind of skip it. The locality I like because it's pure, but he kind of, and again, it's amazing, tons of really cool shit, but to each his own. I would consider myself more of a, well, I am a purist now. I used to do a lot of crosses, but I don't anymore. I haven't in a long time.
Yeah.
So how about going down the let's do Antaresia. So what do you have Antaresia wise?
So I have the Western Stimmies, Eastern Stimmies, and then the Red Desert phase of the children's pythons. Those are I like those a lot. They are the only Antaresia that haven't given me any issues with eating that I've gotten when they were small. As soon as I got them, they no issues at all getting them to feed. They could probably go next year if I push them hard enough. And they're last year's, 2 years ago, something like that. They devour food with no problem at all.
Yeah, those are
Yeah.
pretty cool. Actually, my buddy just got a bunch of children's. He's like, "Yeah, I'll keep a few and sell the rest."
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Some are
that's what he
assholes.
sold. Yeah. Well, he just got them in the other day, so they're pretty small still.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, it'll be neat. I think Dom bred children's, right? With your spotteds, or no? You just had the
No,
spotteds?
I did only spotteds. I did them for a few years. They were like little killer little demons. Like no matter what you did, they were the most angriest, vicious, aggressive snakes, babies and adults. Super easy to breed, super easy to feed, they grow really fast. All the babies eat first time. Anything that comes near them, they strike, coil, and eat. So overall, they were good. They were really easy to move at a lower price point. But I don't know. They honestly they didn't really do it for me. Bred them twice, and then I moved them on. I kind of see. It's gonna sound bad. I'd only get children's to breed them once, and then I'd probably move them on. So like well to me a children is very similar to a spotted. They're pretty damn
Yeah.
close, right? So and I don't know why. Like the spotteds didn't really do it for me, but the pygmies I've had for a long time and I love the pygmies. So sometimes you try different species and you see like and the Stimsons, I love the idea of Stimsons and one day I'm gonna get them. And I want them and I probably want more than just like because there's a couple of what is
Yeah,
it?
there's
There's a
some
few localities,
localities.
right? Like
Well, what
Pill.
I should have done, I should like Mickey had a bunch of northern stimmies, and I should have bought a pair or two back like 5, 6 years ago when he was breeding them. Because he had like three females going. He even maternally incubated them. Like they were pretty cool. They were the Tennant Creek locality ones. I should have
I don't think we
I
have
should have
that
just bought a
here.
pair. Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
not
think
sure
we
where
have
they
that
ended up.
locality here.
Yeah, I think Don, and then yeah, like a year or two later, Don bred westerns, but I think he got rid of them from what I heard. I could be wrong. If he still has them, I probably would buy them. Honestly, I would make room for them pretty easily.
Yeah, stimmies are funny little snakes. They're the biggest pain in the ass to get eating, but once they're eating, they turn into the spawn of Satan and they just want to eat everything in their fucking path. It's
Oh yeah,
insane.
yeah, I like them because they're like not children's and they're not spotted. It's like they're their own kind of funky thing, right? And I like the color. I like their color. Like it's not too brown, but like some
Yep.
like wheat belts look nice,
Yeah.
right? But then you got like I don't know the Tennant Creek ones that Mickey had. They look nice too. Like they look a little better than children's, but children's
I
look
can
nice
look
as
those
well. Like
up.
they all kind of look good in their own right, kind of thing. The pygmy bandits are weird though, right? Like they're like an
Fucking
inland version
pygmies.
of an Antaresia that's
Yeah.
I
like
still
really small, and
I'm
it's
still
like I
trying to
don't know, like
figure out if they consider them more Stimsons, right? The Pygmy Bandits are
well
Stimsons
they're
or
their own
No, they're
thing.
their
They just
own.
haven't
yeah.
Yeah.
described them yet, still
Yeah.
for whatever stupid reason.
So
Right.
I'll cut you guys off just for a second because I want to put my phone down. But I just opened up the
Oh
list
man,
of UK
Canterbury's
Python just to
nice.
say it. So he's got Cape
I
York.
yeah, yeah.
So
Cape
Cape
York
York,
and Gallons.
Jolitons. He's got three lines of jungles: the Black Line, the Palmerston, Jungle Pure, whatever that means.
Palmerston's.
Yeah, and that's basically it. And then down the Antaresia route, Pygmy Banded, Wheat Belt locality Stimsons, and that's it.
And he
Uh,
has I think he has New South Wales Stimsons too on
yeah,
there.
Yes, yeah.
NSW locality Stimson. So there you
Yep.
go. So like, I wish people would order those two. Like, I wish like people who actually knew how to breed would get like, some that actually would be able to reproduce them, and then all of a sudden they'd be
Yeah.
in Canada.
Yeah, yeah, because like even if like you got them and it's like you just list them at a touch higher than children's and spotted prices, that like there's no need to make back what you paid for them. Kind of like you will, right? Just
At
by
some point, yeah.
having them, But like, there's no reason to be like, well, I paid this much, so they must sell for five
They
hundred
all
to a
sell
thousand
that
dollars a
much.
piece,
Yeah.
right? Like, I don't know, list them at a price that they're going to actually move at,
Yeah.
and then you're golden, right? Like that.
You at least
That's
make
where I
money
think
back
with
to the
like
parents.
right, like and with any species, right? Like Kentucky's will eventually drop down. I think they already have dropped down a bit in price, kind of thing. Or like I don't know that the animals that are 250 to maybe $500, like stuff in that range is like moves like, and it doesn't just move to like nobody, to like people who don't really care, but like it's a pretty easy market that like you don't have to sit on stuff for too long,
Yeah.
right? While like if you're trying to get $1,000 or $2,000 for an animal, you're probably gonna be,
You're gonna be
especially
sitting
right
on that.
now, you're gonna be sitting on it for who knows how long, right? So I think people sometimes need to realize like you have to adjust your price for the current
Yeah.
market, because the animal
And
is only worth what people are willing to pay or what you're willing to, like if you really care about the animal, you might just give it to some of your buddies, right? Like if Dom said he wanted stuff that I work with, I would just give it to him, right? Just to,
yeah.
so other people have them, because right now I don't think anybody in Canada is really working with. Well, no, I've sold a few Kentuckies kind of thing, right? Like there's at least one guy that has a pair of them now, but it's kind of like not too many other people really care about that stuff.
Yeah.
But when
Well,
it
it's
when
also
it
that
comes
ebb
to
and flow thing. Oh, gone.
no, go for it, buddy.
Well, it's also that ebb and flow kind of thing where some snakes or some animals kind of the market for them dies down a little bit, and then no one sees them, and then everybody wants them at that same time. Like the I don't know if you guys saw the MBK thing down here, where MBKs were solid $300 snake for a while. No one was producing them. They went down to like $50 a piece. Everybody bought them up, or no one wanted them. Everybody bought them up and all that, and then no one, or I might have that backwards. They were like $50 a piece. No one wanted them, and then everybody wanted them all at the same time, and no one could produce enough babies to meet the market for it.
Yeah,
So they were
they
all
went
going for
they went up
100
to
at a
like
time.
$400, $500 a
Yeah.
piece. They're
Now they're
still,
back down to like 80
I
bucks or
think.
so.
Well, here they've like Ty has like 2 racks of them still. Same with Black Milks. He has like a bunch of breeders. He's given them this year off. I'm gonna breed mine, but like both of them, like they're, I think Black Milks are still easy 350 each right now, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And NBKs, I think we put them down to 250 this year each. Still not a bad price.
Yeah.
Like it's still,
Yeah.
it gives the animal value, right? They're not going for $50. Like even
Yeah.
if they went down to 200, that's still all right. That's still not the end
Yeah.
of the world, right? So, and then maybe a few years, people are the people that the hobbyists are going to stop breeding them, and then the bigger guys that have a group of them, oh look, they've going back up in price because the market's kind of expanding in some other places.
hmm
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what like kind of Asia does though, in terms of like the fact that like the last 10 years they've been buying up a lot of stuff, and now their
Yeah.
market's kind of opening up. Like I think I've seen some Chinese exporters or breeders or whatever starting to like, not those colubras, but there's like one guy that I guess does like a bunch of cobras and king rats and stuff, and
Yep.
he's now allowed to export stuff now, it looks like, legally through China, because there's not too many people that can do CITES in China. So that's kind of interesting to see kind of what other funky stuff we'll get, because like they
hmm
got all those morph king rat snakes and stuff like that. So that'll be cool.
Yeah. Same thing with anything wild caught. If a wild caught snake goes for $150, $200, and then they close the window on that, everybody's gonna buy up any one that's still floating around for quadruple the fucking price. It's insane how some of that stuff works. It's like, why didn't you buy them when they're a lot cheaper then? Why do you need to buy them when they're however much now? Just because the price went up, now you want to spend all your money on them?
Malukan pythons.
Don't even get me fucking started about those things. Uh, they probably should have been that much to begin with, but I should have. I wish I wasn't so young. I could have bought them when they were $250 a piece or $80 or however much they were.
For the longest time, scrubs were worth nothing in Canada. Like it was a $50 animal, which is like basically a $10 US animal. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Like it was the unwanted brown snake that you would see at shows, or people would import and wouldn't be able to move them, and It was just a unwanted dirt snake. Let's be honest. Like that's what they were, and they
Lame.
were worth nothing, no matter what locality, no matter what species. Let's say instead. Yeah, it's I've owned scrubs in the '90s, and
Hmm.
like I've had them given to me. They weren't worth. They had no value, and it was I only had one of this species and one of that species, and I kept them for
Yeah.
like probably 10 years and never paired them up or did anything with them because I don't know. Back then, when I was keeping just to keep. Like
Yeah.
I had a little bit more of like a Noah's Ark type feel, and just shows how it's so different now. And now, like, frig man, I'd love to have Mulligan's or a nice little
Yeah.
Tannenbar or something. Like, God, it'd be nice. So, what
Yeah.
scrubs
Yeah.
do you keep?
Yeah, because
So
Brandon keeps a lot of scrubs.
Yeah.
yeah, not I keep a decent amount of scrubs. So I got a I'm waiting for the last one to come in, but I got 2.2 of Tannenbars. I got a trio of Halmaheras, a pair of Waminas that I'm working on getting some more of. Um, a male Barneck, and then I think that's about it for right now that I have that I'm sitting on. But
It's
yeah.
pretty damn decent. So I'm guessing you're wanting Mulligans, but you can't get them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not looking for them, but if they come up for the right price, for sure, I'm not spending 2 grand or
I
anything
was gonna
crazy
say,
like
aren't
that.
they like 2 grand American each? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I think DM Dan brought him in. He had a pair or two singles of either sex at the last Pomona show, and I think the cheaper one was 2250 US, and then the other one was 2500, which is. I mean, they're worth that. They're very not no one's breeding them, and they're a very good looking fucking snake. I can't. There's no doubts on that at all.
My issue with that though is that like if you're at the point where you're paying that amount of money for an animal, you you got to look at it as somewhat of an investment. Like you can love the
Yeah,
animals, right? But like I'll give you an example. Like if I have inlands right now, if I spend $500, I know I can breed them again. I know I'm going to make my money back, no problem, right?
yep,
But if I go and buy the gammon range at 6K, okay, I know I'm going to be able to breed them because I can breed inlands and they're inlands basically, right?
yeah.
So I'm not going to have an
That's
issue, but
yeah,
I'm not going to be able to sell them and make my money back. Now the difference with a scrub, let's say you spend 5 grand American on a pair of Moluccans, cool. Now, are you going to be able to successfully breed them, right? How many people get pairs, get scrubs, and never ever breed them? Like the percentage of people that are successful compared to the amount of people that are not
yeah.
it's pretty bad, right? So you're investing so much money with zero guarantee that you're going to be successful.
Yeah.
Like,
I think the other thing with that too is the people who have the money are probably the wrong people who are buying these snakes. They buy them for that price tag to have a cool snake to hang around their neck and all that shit. It's not something they're gonna have for a long time. I could very be wrong with that. I could be very wrong saying that, but for the most part, it doesn't seem like these people are actively trying to breed these things. They have, oh, I spent $2,500 on a male, and I don't plan on getting a female for it. It's one of
When
those
they could be
situations.
giving them to Ryan and Nick and
Someone
Steven,
or
guys
Kush,
like
yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah.
guys that should be that just like give them it, like just let them have it, let them do what they need to do with it,
Let
right?
them do the work, and then they can at least get you your money back on half the clutch or something.
Yeah, exactly. Right, and at least the species keeps kind of going, and then you get more
Yeah,
captive bred, and then it becomes a little
yeah.
easier, right? Like
Turns into the
it'll be
retic thing.
it's gonna be cool to see what happens with the Bolins, right? In terms of like what Sam Flood has been able to do. And
Yeah.
there's another guy, right? There was another guy that also not Frederick, but there's another US guy, right? That's also kind of breeding them a bit, I think.
I don't keep up on the Bones market at all.
Yeah, I haven't really kept up on it either. I just remember there being Sam, and then I thought there was another guy too that's doing like the same kind of thing. Not as successful
Mhm.
as Sam, maybe, but yeah, no, it'll be cool to see, like, because they've bred so many now that like,
Yeah.
okay, in 5 to 10 years when those animals are ready to breed, how how that's going to work out, and maybe you mix some of, because I think Frederick sent some of his stuff over here too, or from when he was
Yeah.
breeding them. So maybe some of that stuff. Oh, Mark Miles,
Yep.
Alex Oliver said, yeah, that's the guy I was thinking of, right? So it'll be neat to see how that works out. Like, will they breed a lot easier? Like, will it be a bit more of plug and play, or will it still require multiple males and the same thing? And maybe that's just how they are, and you just gotta use multiple males. And if you're worried about genetics, well, get a couple males from the same clutch, and
Yeah.
and then you don't have to really worry about the genes getting mixed up, even though it'll probably still mix genes up, which is honestly probably a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Maybe us being so structured isn't the best for kind of genetic diversity in our captive collections, right?
Yeah. Or if you do that, if you're worried about all the genes and everything, keep a bloodline going, a pedigree for it, if you're really that worried about it. You would think if people are paying that much money for those snakes, they would have a pedigree going on with that. You would think.
Yeah.
Well, most of them are either F1s or Walcotts, right? And if you
Yeah.
put 3 different Walcott males with your
Well,
females,
Dom, it's the same as green trees. They have to be like second generation captive bred legally to be sent out of Indo, I believe.
so Walcotts.
Le-
I'm gonna step
Well-
away for 1 second.
legally, they must be bred in Indo, and then like actually
I
second
hear
generation.
you.
Same with team. I'm just saying legally.
And
The
again,
guy-
I hear
you
you,
can't-
and my answer is so they're Walcott.
Well, who knows, right? Like Chris is breeding them, like as we heard from Ashley's podcast, that Chris is actually like has eggs on the ground kind of thing and is waiting. So we'll get to see kind of how those do. So that'll be neat. But like
So
I think other farms also have Bolins, but like it's hard to. But like I get you're right, but like we also can't incriminate people, right? So it's kind of
I'm not
tough,
incriminating
so-
anyone, and I'm not specifically
yeah.
putting it on.
I know you're not saying him, but like I just know
So-
him as an example of somebody that's actually
So-
working with them and actually has eggs.
So, and he actually posts everything and all that, and I believe it coming from him. But most of the other people, I bet you, they have their 10 breeder animals that don't actually breed, and then they get animals from the wild, and then put eggs, whatever eggs in there, and show that they've had eggs, and then they sell the Walcotts as their
Right.
captive bred second generation. Like I'm sorry, like I don't believe it, but maybe I'm just skeptical. But I'm
Yeah.
telling you, like,
Like, at least a few years ago, I definitely would believe that more, right? Like, especially when like I know like, but then they like Nerd was the one that crashed the whole Bolins market in terms of making them such a stupid price, right? So now, like, and they were getting babies though, right? So those babies hatched from somewhere, kind of thing. But like, right, like, who knows if somebody just plucked them out of a clutch in the wild, or if they actually did breed them and they just plucked them out of the eggs, straight out of the incubator, and
popped out
set
of the
them in a
mom.
box.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's the thing, right? Like it's hard to know kind of what, but like after hearing Dan and Ashley and Chris and Dan talk about how like they get audited by the Indonesian government, right? You probably don't want to mess with those people and CITES and all that. So like they have hoops to jump through kind of thing, and they're making them. So at least most of the farms seem to be doing a good job for what we can tell, right? Like we're not over there, we don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah.
but like an
I did hear
audit.
this one. Oh, go on. Sorry.
No, okay, I'll talk fast. The audit, like who's auditing, and do they actually know what they're looking at? Like you look at anybody here in Canada that gets audited, or you bring things through border control, or your animals get checked when I import export, they have no clue what they're looking at. Like no clue. It makes you wonder. Like you actually think that the people that go and audit the farms are like specialists of
Some
all
of
the
them
snakes?
might be though, right? Like I don't
Could
know.
be, but I'm
Like
just
they
saying.
have to keep records and evidence that this stuff's actually happening, right? So they're
Sorry, man.
I don't
Brandon,
know.
Go for it. We had to cut you off.
Well, no, you're good. Mine's kind of off topic of the thing a little bit, but I do remember talking to this one vet that I met out here where I was buying a rack, and I was talking to him for a minute. He's a vet that moved from like Washington or somewhere in fucking Pacific Northwest, and he was telling me that he had to pull this clutch of eggs out of a bowlin, and there was like 20 eggs, 18, something like that. And the guy was hassling him for a 2 grand surgery on this snake. But you paid how much for this snake? You paid how much are these babies gonna cost? How much can you sell these babies for when they come out? It's like, are you really gonna throw that much of a fuss about for how much the surgery is gonna cost? It's like
I'm
it's
guessing.
ridiculous.
I think I have a feeling who it probably was too. He's probably done an NPR episode 10 years ago.
Oh, I couldn't tell you. He never told me the name of who it was, but
Yeah, I just have an idea of who bred Bolins in the Pacific Northwest about 10 years ago.
okay. You have to tell me offline, man,
So
because I got no idea who that is.
I think that's where people, like when it comes to the reptile hobby, you'll buy a $10,000 snake and put it in a $10 tub setup,
Yep.
right? When compared to like the
Yep.
fish hobby, they'll spend 10 grand on the aquarium, the corals, everything, and put a
Yep.
$10 fish in there, right? Like
Yeah.
I never understood why people will ask help on Facebook on how to treat their $10,000 ball python and his morph or like a Bolin's or any expensive animal worth a grand, but they won't spend the $120 visit to the vet to at least know what's going on. They'd rather get the information from freaking
Joe
Facebook.
Blow on Facebook.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like you can ask a question, you're gonna get 10 different answers, and one of them is gonna be right. The question is, do you know who to listen to, right?
Yeah.
Like when I ask a question or you put shit online, the amount of garbage information, like look at like every time, doesn't matter what species of animal you're talking about. Somebody will ask a question, you read the comments, the answers, you're like, that's bullshit, that's bullshit. Oh, that's good, actually. That's a great answer. The other ones are all and like people don't go like, yeah, don't listen to this guy. They just don't
Yeah.
do anything, right? And then you'll see
Well,
like this one's the right answer. This is a good answer.
yeah. Yeah, and it's usually the person who doesn't know anything or know any of these people who are asking the question, so they don't really know who to fucking believe for any of that. It's like probably shouldn't be starting on Facebook to begin with, honestly.
Yeah.
It's fucking
Yeah, when-
ridiculous. If that's your best shot, then you probably shouldn't even own the fucking snake to begin with.
Yeah, I love how I left all those groups that had the. Remember, you probably know the guy that was saying that we should hybridize indigos and cohabbing all the emeralds together after they had babies and all that. You gotta fucking love that shit.
The shit that comes out of people's mouths nowadays is fucking insane to me. Like, did you not take 2 seconds of critical thinking before you typed any of this out? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, yeah, and then our hobby is, well, it is what it is.
It's
You need to do
also-
another. We need to get Smitty and that to do more INAT shows more often. Even though I get what
I
Phil,
love INET shows.
I know, we had Phil on last year, right? And he's like, "Well, it's not great." But I don't know. When I listen to it afterwards, like, I don't really care. Like Phil's pretty descriptive, and if I really want to know, I'll. But I'm just listening to listen, right? Like it's kind of, I find it cool anyways because they'll say what species they see where kind of thing on the map.
So I'll say my opinion. I skip those shows, but not because I don't think they're good. Because I think those shows are good if you're watching them on YouTube.
Yeah.
But because I only do things on podcasts on ears while I'm doing other things, I've tried
Kind
to
of defeats
listen
the
to them, and I
purpose.
have no idea what's going on because I'm like, if I can't see what
Yeah.
they're talking about, it's to me I skip them. But it's not because I don't like them. It's because I feel like I would need to watch it on YouTube. Like right now, we're all talking. Our ugly mugs are on here right now, right? But most people will not see what we actually look like. So, and in case I'm going to describe
hope
it, in
not.
case people want to know, Mike shaved his face. He's got like his face looks like a baby, like 14-year-old right now. It's really clean shaven. He's covering it with his glass right now. But anyway.
That's a big 14-year-old.
yeah, I'm bigger than you, Dom.
Yeah, probably.
That's funny. No, I like the INET shows, especially seeing because you see a lot more representation on, like when I did that show with Steve, going through all those scrubs, you see a small portion of what actually is fucking out there, that what comes into the hobby. Yeah, sure, a couple pop out here and there and they look crazy, but majority of the wild caught or the wild stuff that people find are, I guess, abnormal, but it's probably fucking normal in the wild, but it's insane. I love it. A lot of people hate on iNet. I love iNet.
I like it because people are not not to call people stupid, but it's like, well, I get to steal your spot, kind of, because like you can tell where kind of stuff is, even if it is obscured, right? Like you can kind of make it
Yeah.
generalize where stuff is. Like let's
Yeah,
see.
it's a hit or miss with me on that. I like don't post it then. If that's the case, don't post any of your finds if you're worried about people stealing your spots. Or make it obscure and then people gotta try a lot fucking harder to use it. Like it's iNet definitely has its ups and downs or gives and takes with everything, but it's a good fucking app. And even if you're not looking for reptiles specifically, if you want to see what's in the area when you go somewhere to visit, it's super cool. It gives
exactly.
you a general area where to look. If you're there for a day, there for because I used to travel for work for 4 or 5 years, something like that, and I would if I had a night off, I would go out and try to find. I'd go to the general area and hopefully find something.
Yeah, every time I do a herp trip, I always kind of you always check INAT, right? Like you never know if
Yeah,
there's a new sighting on there, or like we figured out that oh yeah, look, there's been rubber boa sightings in the Fraser Valley, so
yeah,
and then there was like several like within a 6 month period of in the what looked like the same spot. They're obscured, but like it's like okay, like, and like some of them are like on like pretty exact kind of area. So and then it's like, well, let's look at the parks that are there. Oh, well, let's go try that. All right.
or even the other thing too, if it's like out of the country, looking at stuff in like Indo, Australia, all that, or somebody's trying to sell something that's a locality, and you want to see if it resembles the locality at all, which is a very broad thing for some animals, but you can get a general sense, I guess. It's it's a very neat app, shall I say?
Yeah, I could see that as useful. Um,
Oh yeah.
if do you mind if I jump back to the scrub? So,
Yeah,
you said the two that you had that you've got pairs are more the Tannenbars and Almahera. Is that what you
Helms.
said?
Well,
Helms, yeah.
I got a pair of Waminas also. I'm gonna
Okay.
after this week, I'm gonna pair the Waminas.
I was gonna ask
It's
anything pairing age?
probably a little late. Um, Not everything's. I'm probably a year away for the Helms, or no, sorry, for the Tana bars. I'm probably a year away on the Tana bars. Helms, I probably need a year or two to get them up to size because they are older. They're older animals, but smaller in size for the females. And then the Waminas, I'm gonna pair next week. It's probably a little late for that, but we'll see. I mean, hopefully I can get some good luck with that. Um, Tana bars, I could hopefully do next year for sure with one of the girls. So the group I'm working with is both males are xanthic, one's patternless, one's patterned, and then the females are both xanthic. One is patternless, and the one coming in next week is patterned. So it'll be, and then the patterned girl, should be big enough to pair next year, hopefully, if she settles in good.
Nice. That'll be cool.
So
Where are
that's a
yours
nice
from? Are
number.
yours from Wildcott, or do you get some from? I'm not sure if Eric sold any other than to Lisa, but
Yeah, I think Lisa's the only one to my knowledge that got any of those. Mine are all wild caught. Yeah,
nice.
mine
Those should
came.
do well though. Like
Yeah, they've
Eric
all
was
settled in
successful.
good.
Like they should, as long as you start them right.
Yeah, the one girl I have right now is pretty small. She's on small to medium rats, so she's this doesn't got like a bigger small rat. Like the bigger end is leaves a pretty big lump in her. So I think I need to get her to at least mediums, possibly. I've heard of Nick pairing his tiny, 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 but I'm very scared of that. This other one looks pretty decent size. It looks like I can take some mediums, no problem.
I think there's nothing wrong with pairing up tiny snakes if they have like the age to go with it, right?
Yeah,
Like if,
I
if
don't know
your
how old
snake
this
is
female.
7 or 8 years old, but it's, half the size of what you'd expect it, if it's 7 or 8 years old, it's
Yeah,
sexually mature, right? It just will produce a clutch half or a quarter of the size what it's supposed to, but it'll
yeah,
breed. So, and I
yeah,
think that's kind of like the way that Nick does it. He he is a very slow feeder. His animals tend to be very, very small, but there's no reason they can't breed. It just takes a much longer amount of time. To me, it's probably the healthy way to get the
Yeah.
animal there, but most people are in a hurry, right? They want to breed everything in 2 or 3 years.
I feed things slow, very slow. A lot of all my animals are slow to grow. Um, this girl I've probably had for 2 years now, I believe, coming up on 2 years, and she's probably through 3 foot, pushing 3 foot. So she's still pretty small, but she's slender. She's very slender. My two boys, one that axanthic patternless is probably the lightest axanthic patternless I've seen in a hot minute. This thing's very light. And then my boy patterned is a dog for food. This thing is so food crazy. It's ridiculous. But he's probably 5 foot or so, 5, 6 foot. So I got him as an adult
Yeah.
for sure.
I find too, once you actually see them stretch out, they compact into a small little ball, but they're such
Mhm.
long, slender snakes that
Oh,
they're
yeah.
surprisingly. I find it's one of those animals where you tend to undersize them, right? You're like, it looks like a
Yep.
5 foot snake, and then it stretched out, and you're like, holy shit, it's doubling up the size of the cage. It's like
Yep.
8 foot.
Yeah, a lot of things need some upgrades over here. I'm gonna couple more paychecks. I'm gonna get some dubia cages, those 4x4x2s. I think that'd be a good setup for some scrubs. And
Yeah.
they're super light.
4 deep or 4 high?
4 high, 4 wide, 2 foot deep.
Can you imagine yourself stretching inside the cage 4 feet
I'm
deep to go clean the
dude,
back?
I'm not a tall man. My ankles would barely be kicking out the side of that fucking thing. It's a scary movie when they're under the bed and his feet are kicking out. That's fucking
You'd have to have Steven come and actually clean your cages for you.
yeah. I'll fuck with some big snakes, but getting in the cage with the snake, no bueno. I've been over to Steve's house. He has some. I have this picture of me holding his Blue Beauty. That's easy 10 foot, and I'm like this. This thing's to the floor and over the top of the cage, and I'm like, oh my god, this thing is fucking giant. And it's like that big around. It's like not fucking huge for how long it is, but this thing is insane how long the snake is.
Oh yeah, yeah. My buddy's cave dwellers are probably, I don't know, 7 feet. I don't know. Is Hendrik still in the comments? How big are the cave dwellers? But
Dude, cave
they're
dwellers are
pretty
cool too.
they're pretty large. I love cave dwellers have some nice color to them, right? Like they got that
Yeah.
yellow going through them. Although they want to eat all the time, but
Yeah, I tried diving into the beauty snakes. They did not do well here. I had them. I had a pair of calico, or is that Taiwanese beauties? Is that the calicos?
Chinese.
Chinese? Okay, I had those for maybe 2 weeks, and they both rolled within that 2 weeks. I think the humidity or the lack of humidity, because I didn't keep them hot at all. I keep them the same. I don't put any heat on any of the glubrids or the
Yeah.
rubbers.
Yeah, I have a feeling rubbers like I wonder if they like just stay active like all year round kind of thing. Like, cause like we hear the stories of them like cruising when it's like 40 degrees in Vermation.
Hmm.
Like, I wonder if they just like, other than like when it snows, like if it gets any type of warmth, I bet you they're cruising around, probably eating
Yeah.
too, right? Like, I don't think it really matters.
Yeah, yeah, because I feed mine winter here. My winter here is like 40 degrees at the coldest. I
Yeah.
think it got to like 34 for like 2 days here, and that's like cold, cold.
Yeah,
At least
that's
down.
like not, that's barely even that's not even freezing yet.
Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about cold with you guys. We can talk
I
about
used
heat
to
all
not
day.
have to deal with cold. Vancouver was like, I don't know, we got a couple like frozen days, but I don't know, Jay's in the comments, like there
I
must be
think you're
like
colder than
no,
us now. Like,
yeah,
I think you're
it
colder.
was negative 24 the other week. That was cold.
Nope.
It was nice and warm today. It snowed on Friday, got to negative 15 overnight, and now it's back up to, it was like 5, 6 degrees today, so like I don't know, 40 degrees kind of thing. So most of the stuff's gonna melt, and tomorrow it's gonna get back to like 50 degrees.
Saturday was +8, and today was -14.
Is
So with
Just
winter for brumation for you guys? Do you guys just go off the times of the month, or with it still being cold and stuff like that, or do you actually go off the weather outside?
Uh, well, in Vancouver, I think I'll do the same thing here, but back in Vancouver, I could just throw stuff in the garage. I don't know, whenever, once it was cool enough, kind of thing, and the garage would stay like as long as I put them on the wall, kind of beside the house in the garage, like they'd be at 50 degrees for the whole
Okay.
time. If it got freezing for like a week or two, it might drop down a little cooler, and you could just throw a space heater in the garage just to bump it up a touch. But they were
Okay.
fine. But like Vancouver is Vancouver, and it like for the most part, it's not that bad at all. Like you get a couple weeks of like below zero, and that's about it. And the rest it's like a few degrees above zero and raining for most
Only
of
a
the
couple
winter.
weeks.
Well, it's still
Yeah.
well for the rest of Canada. It's not too bad. Like
Yeah.
sometimes we're warmer. It was warmer that like Victoria's even warmer a little bit. But yeah, for the most part, you're like above freezing and just raining all winter, kind of thing.
Okay.
But here,
So
I'll
Vancouver
have
doesn't count.
yeah.
You can't put a city that's beside the ocean. Like the temperature is completely different than the entire the
Fair.
rest of the country, right? Like you've got temperate weather because you're beside the ocean.
Yeah,
So
I
everything
was
that
able
is
to look for
not
yeah. You could look for salamanders on Christmas and New Year's Day. It's great when it's like
That
plus
cool.
5 and raining out. It's like okay, let's go look for redbacks and northwesterns and long toes and ansatinas and all
Yeah.
that.
That's the one thing I'm jealous of here is we don't have enough. We have some cool amphibians. We don't have enough salamanders. Salamanders, anything like that. Frogs, for the most part, we don't have a lot of those. I need to make some trips up north for because I have a one of my uncles lives in Oregon in Eugene, so I can get my rubber boa fix and some gummy lizards.
Oh yeah. Well, Oregon's a cool state, right? Because they're like the northern extent of uh cow kings and a bunch of lizard stuff, and then
Hmm.
obviously you got multiple species of dicamps, I think, if I recall. Because you got like the normal northwesterns, but then I think there's another species or two there. I might be wrong,
What's
but
up the dicamps?
the giants.
Okay.
Yeah. I never got to see those because they only come up to like a
Wow.
little part in the Fraser Valley. Those would have been cool to see, but you
Yeah.
almost have to look more for larvae, and that's kind of tricky.
Okay.
So like it's kind of tough. Like it's hard to find an actual terrestrial dicamp. It's
Yeah.
like they feed on other salamanders, but like they don't stray
Yeah.
too far from streams, so they're a little more tough to find, especially in a restricted area, but
Okay.
yeah. But yeah, no. Oh yeah. It'd be cool to go down to the Hood River and go try to find some Zonata up in Washington.
That'd be sick.
Isn't Casey Lazick the only guy finding them too? I swear he's that. I'm gonna
Probably.
look this up right now, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he is. There's a very small amount of Zanata that are found up that at all up there. I think it's like one spot too, one or two spots.
what is Zunata? Just for the
Coastal mountain king snake,
there you go.
California mountain king snake. I think they're calling them coastals now, something like that. I think
How
they
do they
suck a
look?
lot of basically like a pyro, but pretty much an all black head. They're super cool. Michael probably pull up a picture right now. And then you got all gamma. All gamma are fucking sick. That's the Baja or Mexican mountain king snake. I don't remember what the common name on those are.
They're as in
Yes,
Baja, like right
Algama are
beside
the Baja
Mexico.
ones. Actually, Ty just got 3 females. So,
Those are
and
sick. If you want to get into a
yeah.
king snake, you want to get into those.
Yeah.
Those
I think he got them
fucking
for a
cool.
decent price too, because like the guy that had them can't keep snakes anymore, so he got them for a
Yeah.
pretty good price. So I talked to Nemo, and I was like, so want to hook my buddy up with some nice
Yeah.
Zonata?
Want to hook a brother up?
Yeah, yeah, Zonata.
Yeah, they're super cool.
Well, the Algamas are like the best, but like
Yeah.
when Bill was talking about the herp story where he almost died on the side of the cliff because like he smashed and hit his head. That was when he was looking for just normal California Zonata. Let's see,
Oh,
because Bill Hughes has a bunch of Zonata now. He has a couple localities that he
oh
collected
shit.
himself.
Have you seen the
You want normal
Xanthics?
No, I haven't. That actually
They're
sounds pretty
fucking.
cool.
They're
Yeah.
super cool. Oh, actually, are they Algama? They're the Xanthics. Let me see. One of they're
Be
insane.
like the one
Yeah, the
spot
one little patch. Yeah.
right on the
Yep.
border. And I think they're all on the Washington side actually. But like a bunch of this is I swear it's Casey from what I thought. I could be wrong, but
So pull up a
there's
picture so you can
this is a
see what.
bunch of random people actually, and this is all new.
Oh,
Okay,
really?
1993.
Oh,
But like there's some new ones on here though, like 2025, 2016, 2023, 2024. Like yeah, this is a bunch of different people, all within most of it's within a couple years. That's really neat.
so it's Xanthic Algama. I'll send you a picture right now.
Okay, that's really
They're
cool.
fucking. And then the second picture is compared Xanthic to a normal. They're
Alrighty.
fucking insane. And then there's apparently there's Xanthic fucking Baja Rats too, which I didn't know of till fucking recent.
Oh yeah, I knew about that. I think I've seen Xantic Bajas. I know Bill doesn't work with those, but he has the normal Bajas.
Yeah, those are a dream. Those are what I want fucking next, real bad.
Yeah.
There was a
I think
pair.
I
There was a pair for sale in fucking Daytona, and I was like, "Oh, good luck with those fucking things." There, I'm surprised they're not dead in the cup at the show.
although I don't know, like there's a bunch of Florida like Craig and Rob and their buddies, like they seem to do well with like Subox and Rosie's, right? Like
Hmm.
Bill talks about Subox being like he thinks Subox are harder than like Centicolas and Bajas. And like I don't know, I haven't had an issue with the Subox, and I lived in Vancouver. I just like really added the ventilation to it, but I'm not sure if that made a difference or
Yeah,
not. Like I should actually have it easier now that Southern Alberta is pretty dry, so it should
yeah.
be pretty. It's like 30% humidity like all the time,
Oh fuck.
so it should be pretty easy to keep the humidity down now.
That's what we fucking are right now. Mine varies, but it's usually not anything crazy. We are 26% humidity right now, so my snakes are fucking loving it. Keeping tropical snakes in the middle of the desert is the worst thing ever. Luckily, I have a Home Depot sells this like 1,500 square foot humidifier that I keep in there, so it's usually not much of an issue. And then I'll spray daily for the most part. Just give them a
Actually, I was
spike.
going to ask, what's your substrate then? Are you keeping on some type of a mulch everywhere?
Yeah, Cypress. There's only one spot in all of fucking Arizona that sells it, and it's very far from my house.
It's funny because it's the same thing here, right? I'm in Ontario, and Ontario's a really big province. Like if I drove from one
Yep.
end to the, well, let's put it this way: we're touching the United States, right? Like touching New York on one side,
Yep.
and the other end has polar bears. So it just gives you an idea of
Jesus
how
fucking
far.
Christ.
Okay, so I don't live anywhere near a polar bear. I've never seen a polar bear, but
Yep.
it goes all the way to the like territories, like far up. So, but there's only
It's in the lines.
one place that sells cypress mulch, and we drive 5.5 hours to go by, and we do a full pickup load full of cypress when we need
Oh
it
shit.
because
Luckily, I'm
it's
not that far. That's insane.
Yeah, I just do cocoa. I've because like Vancouver never got any.
Mm-mm.
There's never cheap
It
cypress. You might as well
I
just do
feel like
nothing but
cocoa
cocoa.
dries out shit more.
Yeah, it does. Like that's the thing, right? Like, but then it's tough. But then you just can't get cypress, right? Cody Joe is able to
yeah.
find. He has this like hardwood shavings that he's able to actually keep moist without it molding for whatever reason, which is really weird. Because I was like, why are these ring pythons on moist shavings? But then he's like, oh, it doesn't mold. I've able to figure. So it was like, okay, maybe I'll need to
Strange.
figure that out. But
Wonder
he
what's in
hasn't had
candy.
any issues because he keeps his baby rings on this shaving because he finds the cocoa like will get them impacted almost. So the shaving seems to move through them easier than the cocoa. So that's
The
why he
cocoa.
switched to that.
I find the cocoa is so fine. Like it's I don't know, like I've had bad experiences where that fine stuff, saliva, eating a wet rat, let's say, it gets stuck and it gets caked on all around their lips and
Yep.
all that kind of shit. And I don't know. I just don't like how fine it is compared to like cypress mulch. Everything is big, right? So the
Yep.
pieces are big. The only thing I guess is that you could see a chunk getting impacted or stuck in their mouth. But I've never had any real issues with cypress, and I've been keeping on cypress forever.
So the only issue I've ever had, and it's the fucking craziest story that I've ever had with Cypress, is yeah, that's an Xanthic Algama. That thing is fucking
Oh,
nice.
it looks like a weird Honduran almost. But like it's
Yeah.
obviously an
So
algama, but it
mhm.
looks like a ghost, right? Like it's
Can you film that second picture, that side by side?
oh damn. I didn't take a picture of
Ah,
it.
that's fine. Um, yeah, dude, those things are insane. That white is so white. Oh fuck, dude, that's a nice
Oh
thing.
yeah. Yeah. I like the normal algamas though after seeing them in person. Like it's like okay,
Yeah,
yeah, that's a nice. Ty had the Applegate specials too and bred a bunch of them. Like well I think they were het like it was like a special to a het or something. So he got like a big clutch out of them. But then nobody wanted
okay.
them. Like I got a pair and then I moved them on. But like nobody in Canada wanted just like Arizona Mountain Kings. It's like what the hell? Like
Insane, because they would do so well there too.
his price was like it was like $200 Canadian a piece too. Like it was nothing. Like
I
he
don't even
should have
think
had
they're
them
that
at
low
like
here.
three. Like it should have been three or like 350 easily. It like it's so silly.
But the story I was telling about the Cypress. So my male, uh, Eastern Stimmy, he got a piece of Cypress, like one of those long splintering pieces. Had a long splintery piece, and apparently he got sideways, and he looked like he had like the sticks that they stick through their nose, like that sticking out the side. And I went to go get it pulled out, and as soon as they touched the side, it just popped out. Popped out the side of his neck, pulled out of his neck, put him on paper towel, and he's just healed with this tiny little pin scar on the side of his neck. No issues, nothing like that. So these things are fucking resilient as shit. But
That's
that was
pretty
the only issue I've ever had
yeah.
with anything with
So
Cypress.
I've never done that with cypress, but I'll admit to have once put a hemostat right through the throat of an animal.
Mm.
Like when you force feed with tiny little things, I've had one that as you're pushing it, it just went right through the cheek and right out the side. And
Ooh.
all I did was again just clean it, put him back on paper towel. By like 1 day later, it was closed. It was perfectly
Yep.
fine. Waited 2 weeks, fed the animal. It ate perfectly fine, survived,
Yeah.
and it's almost not noticeable, especially when it happens on a young animal. They heal so well that kind of disappears. So I would assume those kind of injuries would happen in the wild though. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it
Well, when
Well, it
they
makes
take
you
a
think
bigger
like
meal or something,
yeah.
right?
it's something taking a bite out of them or something like that. They're probably fighting back. But it's also crazy to think like the tiny scar from what some of these things are, and you see how big of a scar these snakes have on them. It's like what really got to them? Like, did a cat like take a giant chunk out of it and the cat just finally let it go, or did a hawk get it, or like any of these things, and just how resilient they are, their bodies are fighting back. It's fucking insane. I saw the one of the only heel. I think it was the only Gila monster I found last year. Had the biggest scar on her abdomen, and it was her whole abdomen and a knob. And she it was an I couldn't even tell you how old this animal was. This is a very old animal from the looks of it, but just proves how they can fucking carry on with everything.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure. Like you got to think, like even rubber boas, right? Like rubber boas live. Like
Mm.
Craig talks about that story of probably like 40, 50-year-old animal. Like they could probably live more. Like I wonder if some
Yeah.
stuff lives to be 100 and we don't even know, right? Like
Yeah,
as long as they don't get eaten by something, like they'd probably just keep going, right?
yeah. Like what was it? Somebody posted something not long ago about a rubber that had a normal tail because apparently a lot of wild rubbers have just gnawed up tails for even how much of a nub it already is to begin with, and it's like apparently really hard to find unless you're finding like a neo that has a normal tail. I think they're because all mine when they get defensive, first thing to do is stick that tail up.
Yeah, I remember that too. Actually, I did find one baby. Like often when road cruising, we found like lots of baby rubbers kind of thing. I did
Okay.
find one that was like I'm not sure what it was full of, whether it ate like another rubber boa or if it ate like five pinky mice or something, because it was
Hmm.
a sausage. It was a fat sausage. It had just eaten like something and was just rolling across the gravel road in the
That's so
mountains.
funny.
Yeah, yeah, they're cool. I did find in like a totally different area, my first rubber boa was like
Mhm.
probably a solid 2 foot like
Oh shit.
female. Like it was
Yeah.
huge.
Fucking
It was like we
massive.
pulled over on the side of the road. There's one thing though when you look for rubbers, they're near water like almost all the time. They're near some sort of
Okay.
water source for whatever reason. Like this was right beside a fairly major river. Like not a huge
Mhm.
huge river, but it was a good river.
Water's always flowing.
Yeah, it was heading down across like the one of the highways is on the other side, but this is like another old used to be the highway, but it's now like just like a normal kind of road on the other side. Pulled over
Okay.
kind of thing, and it was I think it was heading back across the street towards like a bunch of boulders going up the mountain kind of thing. So it had
Mhm.
just came from whatever water source I believe, and then came back up.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was like a solid green, like
Oh,
massive
that's
female
still
rubber
big.
boa. That was such a cool find.
Yeah. That olive green color too, when they get big, is fucking nice.
Yeah, yeah, no, they're nice.
So
But
cool.
it's cool to find the babies. The babies have that nice like
Yeah.
tan orange color. Maybe I'll bring up some
Yeah.
rubber boa stuff to look at here.
Yeah. Yeah. The everyone I've gotten so far has been like that pink tannish Neo. And it's fucking super cool to watch him change. Like my boy is the oldest one I have so far, and he's starting to get that olive green color.
Oh yeah,
Those things are so sick.
Just
yeah,
by
they're
curiosity, Brandon, you ever done herping outside of the States?
No. I think I've been to Mexico once, and I think that's. I had an opportunity to go to Australia, to South Australia for work, but they wanted me for 6 months, so I wasn't able to take it because my office wouldn't let me go for that long. Tried to get me to go to Germany and France, I believe, also, but it's also everywhere that's out of the country for me wants somebody for a very long time, and they
Just
don't
by
want to give you
curiosity,
for a
what do you
long
do
time.
for work? That
Security systems. Security
Interesting.
systems for commercial buildings. Usually,
yeah.
um,
That it's all low voltage,
you know,
right? Or is it some of it?
yeah, low voltage.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
know how cool that is though? Somebody was to ship me to Australia for 6 months. Like that's it's not even a trip at that point. Like you're
yeah,
living the life. Like you could do true herping, like even 1 or 2 days a week on your days off. Like it's to me
yeah,
that's a dream. But it only works if
yeah,
you've got no real attachment wherever you're living, right?
yeah. So when I was traveling, I had a decent. I think the most I had when I was traveling was like 30 snakes, and I told them I can only go for 2 weeks at a time, and that's feeding right before I leave, or a day or two before I leave, and then waters right before I leave, and then my brother, because I was still living at home at the time, my brother would go through and do check waters and spray whatever needed to be sprayed, or make sure the humidifier was full.
Yeah, see, I've never had anybody that can come and do any of my things. So if I had to stay, like the longest I ever left was once I did 3 weeks.
Hmm.
But usually it's always a week max. And see, I do the contrary. I stop feeding everything a week and a half before, so that everything is
Hmm.
pretty much emptied, clean all the cages, brand new waters, and then hope that nothing bad goes until I get back.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think in that whole time I ever lost a snake to that's off the top of my head. Because usually I would get a call like I've gotten definitely calls before where there's something's dead in there, and it's usually a rodent that didn't get eaten, and that's my brother's got to go in there with fucking forceps to pull that shit out. But
Smells like
that's
death.
about it. Oh, yeah, this move wasn't good for me because I fed things. They've been here for like 2 weeks or so now, at least solid, without being like moved around. And I fed a decent amount of things, or pretty much everything. I fed some more things today, but like 6 snakes didn't eat, and holy fucking, this house stunk for a solid minute.
It's
But
always
luckily, it's
that.
all the
You got
windows.
that smell. That
Uh,
smell of the forgotten rodent. Like usually it's
And
usually
it's
you walk
always
in the
on the
room
heat
and
map.
you're like
Or
it's
the
not
water
that
bowl.
strong, but like you, yeah, I haven't had that yet.
Wait till you get a rodent in the water bowl. In the water bowl, that will, like, for whatever reason, I don't know anything about any of that, but it'll make it stink 10 times faster, and it's way stronger too. I had a
And the
rat
worst is when you dump the water bowl. It's even worse because now it like,
lingers. Yeah, it's bad. It's so bad.
Usually it's like the the thing gets like buried almost in it, and then you forget about it, and then you don't even smell it,
Yeah.
and then you're like you
Well,
smell like
yeah.
a hint of something, and you're like there's something in here,
And you
and
see like a
then
little tooth
eventually
sticking
you
up or
dig,
something.
yeah, and then you like dig through just to like I don't know spot clean, and then you're like fuck, like oh
Yeah, it's all
now I
mummified.
gotta deep clean this freaking
Yeah.
cage. Usually I haven't done that. Like you find it pretty quickly, but it's still like most of my stuff's good though. I like after moving, everything ate. Like even the Wama python that didn't want to eat ate, and I just dropped that off at my buddy's because Ty has 4 female Wamas ready to go and only one male. So he's been
Oh
like
shit!
swapping that male between like 2 girls. So it was like, well, like I have like a 17-year-old male that probably would want to breed.
Damn.
So yeah. Well, the thing is tiny because it was like neglected, but like now it's it's a Wama python. It got back on
Yeah.
track very
Yeah.
quickly, and I've had it for like
Yeah.
3 4 years now, so it's
ask.
doing solid.
I got a 3 or 4 year old male that I've been waiting for a female forever, man. If he wants it, I'll give him the male if he sends me a pair one day.
Well, I guess we'll see. Like maybe hopefully he'll produce. Last year he didn't even get any. The year before he produced some, but yeah, I guess we'll see what happens after this year.
I've heard stories with Walmas too. If you grow them too fast and power feed them, they won't breed. They get like either fatty or some issue happens, and they'll breed, but it'll be all slugs or all infertile eggs. If you give them time to grow, which I bought an adult pair that I haven't, that I'm gonna pair this year because I've let them slim down a little bit because they were pretty big when I got them. And then I have another trio that I grew. One female was like a juvenile. She's probably not going to go this year. I have another female that's pretty reduced pattern. She has very light banding going down. That I'm going to pair with a male probably next year because the male needs probably another year.
Yeah, Ty's females are all like pretty good. One of them is like almost reduced pattern. It's super light. Like he I think I finally saw like all 4 of them, and they were like the one of them looks really nice. The others are like
Yeah.
Walmas. Like they're just normal
Yeah.
Walmas, but like one of them is like lighter and the pattern's a
Yeah.
bit more reduced. Like it's like, oh yeah, that one's nice. So that'll be cool to see.
I find that
Yeah.
most womas we have around here are really like the banding is almost diffused from the dark brown to the light orangey
Okay.
beige. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
find
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
all like diffused, and I personally love when they have like crisp delineation between each of their banding, and you really
Yep.
see that crisp pattern. And I find like I honestly I don't see any of those around here. I don't know if you've seen many, Mike, but I find there's no like gorgeous like well
I,
patterned.
well, you get like Dawn's like orange ones sometimes, but like I'm not sure how many of those actually stay in the country because like he I'm not sure if he got rid of all of them or if he just got rid of a group, but it's always hard to tell because like he's been doing his like red line stuff for a while, but like not too many people in Canada end up with them. Like there's a handful, I think, but it's hard to know who has what, right? Because there's like some guys just stay quiet and they just keep them
Yeah.
and don't say anything and probably just wholesale stuff and get spread around.
Goes under the
Like,
rug.
yeah, but like you would think there would be more, so it's kind of tough to say. But then like but then you also see a bunch of like just normal plain Jane Walmas. Like they're cool. Like Shan stuff's a little nicer, but it's like I wonder if Shan. We need to talk to Shan about
So
Walmas.
Shan's womas are cool, but his pair is old, like
Oh, okay.
15-ish plus years
Yeah.
old, and I've had multiple babies from him, but they all turned out to be male, and I still have yet to ever gotten a female. Everything thing turns out to be male. He's only produced male, which I don't get.
That's insane.
So, but
I wonder
and
if this is a
you know,
humidity or incubation thing.
I don't know. I think bad luck. I don't know. Because pythons are really not temperature dependent for sex determination, so I don't think so anyway. I don't think there's any proven python that has a sex determination based on temperature, right? Have you ever heard of it? I
No,
don't think
this
so.
is just a theory.
Yeah, I agree, but anyway, he's been always male heavy, so I've never gotten a female anyway. Going back to, so I did get a red line from Dawn. I did have one female. Um, so you're wondering where they all went. I killed it, accidentally, and that was one of my learning mistakes. I think I've said it on the show once or twice, but it was when I thought womas were the coolest things because they dug in sand and did holes and all that, and I thought it
Yeah.
was just
Yeah.
so amazing. Like I loved watching it and all that. And then one day I fed it. It was probably like a year old, so it wasn't that big, like 2 feet long. Fed it a, I don't know, hopper mice or whatever it is, appropriate sized meal. And everything I feed is dead, unthawed in a bucket of water, warm water, and then it's nice and hot. Then I give it to the animals. Anyway, the animal grabbed it, you know, coiled the crap out of it, smushed it, pushed it everywhere in the sand, on the ground, whatever, and then ate it. But the saliva and the sand everywhere on their mouth, it caked it, but I never noticed it. And it sealed its mouth shut. And I only noticed it
Oh,
maybe
shit.
about a week and a half later. I was noticing that it was making a little bit of a whistling noise. I was like, that's weird. And I finally went to it, and I went in there, and it wasn't biting me. It wasn't even striking anything, and it always did, right? So then I started putting my hand on its mouth. It wasn't really doing anything until then I thought like, oh my God, it's like it's got a peeled shed on it. And then I realized his whole mouth was 100% shut since the last feeding. And I peeled everything, removed it all, but it died within a day after that.
Damn.
So that was my learning mistake. After that, I can tell you, I will never, ever keep a Woma on sand again. Just not worth it. Like, it was cool. It was cool to see the behavior, but,
Yeah.
you know, anyway, that was one of my stupid mistakes. I mean, I have a long list of them, but that's where that mistake cost me an animal, and it was a red line from Don.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that he sold like an adult. Was it him or was it? There's one guy that I know. Well, if Mickey's still listening, he probably knows him. There's one guy in BC that does have giant Madagascar boas that are that I don't know. Somehow, like there's a trio in Canada that I think he got probably from Henry, and then Cody Joe has like a lone male from somewhere. But yeah, so that'll. But that guy I think bred some Walmas the other year that were like nice, so I assume they're probably from Dawn. Although that guy had that I remember that guy's website from 10, 15 years ago where he had like anery, rainbows and stuff. Like it was a pretty cool back then, right? Like he had Bredli and stuff back in the early 2010s, I want to say. So that was that was neat. Like he had, but yeah, somebody last year on Kijiji had really nice adult Walmas for sale, but it was hard to. It was like, do I want to get Walmas like adult pairs? And it's like, well, it's a lot of space, but yeah, it's kind of tough. Like I kind of like raising up stuff from babies just to make sure they're all good, kind of thing. I think you guys
It's
are
just
all
not
kind of
worth
on
it.
that page.
Yeah, it's just not worth it buying adults, man. I don't care what people say. It doesn't save you time, and it like okay. And I'm saying that I've bought adults of certain animals, and for some of them it's worked. For some of them it hasn't worked at all. I don't know. To me, it's kind of like skipping the whole point of it. Like the whole point of raising, of making this animal be used to your room, all that. To me, it's just not worth it. I don't know. I don't want to do it. And like all the animals I want, I always want them the youngest possible. Even if they have, I don't give a shit if it's established or if it's eaten because I know I can get it to eat. So to me, younger the better. But everybody's different, and I know you can have success buying adults. It just usually it's not the same case. You can also bring in a lot of shit you don't want in your collection.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's
It's hit or miss. I've bought in adults. It's I haven't had any bad luck with adults. Um, Usually someone's selling adults for a reason. Either they're not breeding. Usually is what I tend to find is they don't breed. I haven't found any like illness or anything with any of them yet. Um, I don't have any bad things to say about the buying adults.
Yeah. Yeah, with me it's just like the Bahamas, but like that's like an animal that like there's just a handful of them in the country that like if they're gonna come up if they're gonna be offered to you, especially from a buddy, it's like yeah, I'm not gonna say no, kind
Yeah,
of thing. So you kind of you have to sometimes you just have to jump on stuff, but like that's a special animal. Like not that animals, no matter what you keep, isn't special, but like that's an animal that actually like it like if somebody like if my buddy's not gonna work with it, then like somebody who cares about that species needs to work with it to like give it the best chance it can
yeah,
to kind of keep going.
Yeah, but picking up animals, like adult animals from a buddy, is different than picking up adult animals from a rando on classified, right? Like you can
yeah,
ask your buddy, and your buddy's gonna be like we bought, like when I sold my adult trio of Angolan pythons, I didn't sell them because there was something wrong with them. I mean, we bred them 3 years in a row. There was nothing wrong with them. They were good. I just they didn't do it for me, and I just had enough, right? So in this
yeah,
case, to me, like that's a trio that's worth buying because there is nothing wrong with them, and you can prove that they keep breeding. But from a rando on a classified ad, man, I'm sorry, man. Like it's why is he selling it? How does he keep his animals? There's so many of those questions that I'd be like, yeah, I'd run away from that. I don't do it anymore anyway. I don't think it's worth it. Except again, like you're saying, if I've been looking for, I don't know, I have a male blackhead python and I've been looking for a female forever and one comes up, I might take the chance.
yeah.
Because if I can't find it and it's nowhere there, then at that point, I break all my own rules and might do it.
Yeah.
Well, I
Well,
feel like adult single animals is different than adult pairs. Like adult pair, there's a reason they're selling it, probably for one reason or another. If it's a single, I feel like it's probably you couldn't they couldn't find the other pair for it, or there's over trying to keep a pet for however long.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like
Or the
blackheads, that's
program.
another thing up here. Like they're a little kind of funky in terms of like people have brought in pairs and stuff over the years and maybe a couple people have bred them, but like not really. Like it's hard to tell. Like maybe what's his name, Brandon Van Asten's bred them. I think maybe once, but
I
Cody
would,
Joe had several pairs, and I don't think they did well for him.
I'd argue
So
to say there's been less than like 5 clutches ever of blackheads in Canada. Like, I don't, and
and most of those are probably from 10, 20 years ago,
like, do you
probably
think, like,
or
do you
longer.
even know if, like, in the past 5 years, has there been even one clutch?
I don't think so.
Like, it's one of those things. It's just like if you take diamond pythons, there hasn't been one clutch in the past 5 years. Like, it's okay, there has been one. I take it back. There's been one last year, but like, and he produced 4 babies. So like, there's been almost
Damn, only
no,
four.
yeah. Like there's been so few, like certain animals, just there's none out there. Like I'd love to get blackheads. They're like right on top of my list, but I'm gonna get like the muddiest, ugliest blackheads. Like when you look at them, you're like, man, that's got to be like the ugliest blackhead ever. There's no definition. There's no like the black just blends into everything, and you're like, is that even a blackhead? Like, and then do you want to spend that kind of money for a muddy, ugly blackhead? Like to me,
Yeah,
it feels not worth it.
there is what like Cody Joe and one of my other friends like they brought in exantics and stuff, but then they got out of that project, and then the guy who got them killed them within 6 months by overfeeding them rats. And then
Joe
I
got a
think
couple
Cody
too.
Joe had some bad luck with his other blackhead pairs. And then there's the muddy ones that kind of go around. And then Mickey had westerns, but then they went to my other buddy. I'm not sure. I think he still has them. He only got them a couple of years ago. I think they traded short tails or something for him. But like, so I think there's those still around, but they still haven't bred. So it's kind of it's tough. Like they're not really breeding easily for anybody either. So there's that.
Muted. You're muted.
You're muted.
You're still muted.
What the fuck?
There
I
you
pressed the button that time.
There we
Um,
go.
I was gonna say, Joe Carocas has that brought in a pair of
Yeah.
the het hype.
But that's how everybody got them, right? Like I'm pretty sure Cody Joe's animals that he like because he used to have het hypos and stuff. If you watch that Mike Taitula video from a long like 2018 or 19 when they looked over Cody Joe's collection the first time, like he had het hypos and pos het albinos and all that stuff. Like that all came from Paul probably at some point. Like all that stuff came from Paul, and nobody's been able to breed anything with it that I know of.
Yeah. And that's like a prime example of, getting animals that are expensive and not knowing if ever you're going to see a dollar back from that,
Yeah.
right? Which again, I don't need to make money, but it's nice to at least repay the initial investment so that you don't feel like
Yeah.
you're just in the hole. But yeah,
But it's like the same thing. It's like the same thing essentially here with Duns for however long Ryan or who was it? Was it Nick that had the single male or somebody had a single male and then that random Maclots popped up, ended up being a Duns
Yeah.
Python, and they're going steady now. But then not long after that, they started coming back in again. I got a pair that are unrelated to any of the things that are in right now. So hopefully, I'm growing up my male. My male was a Neo when I got it 2 years ago. So hopefully, in the next 2 years, I can pair him to my female. My female is an adult.
That's cool. Yeah, I know Cody Joe just got a clutch because Joe sent him a male that I'm not sure where he got it from, probably from Indo at some point. But Cody
Yeah.
Joe's had like it came in as a Maclots and then
Yeah.
kind of realized that it was something a little different. So I guess we'll see what they hatch out looking like. If they're all fucking
Yeah.
Maclots, then I guess they're not. But if there's a bunch of orange babies in there, that'll be cool.
Yeah, Duns are weird too, because like my female has like no freckling on her at all. She's almost all brown and silver. She has like 2 dots on her, and my boy he's still in that like brownish phase or that reddish brown phase, and he has a fuck ton of dots all over him. So it could be that very broad spectrum that pops out.
nice. All right, Mike, you got a last subject you want to hit up or two, or
Let's see. Where is
quick
there
last?
any places any trips you got planned? Any herping stuff you got going on? We never even hit it, but you do a lot of
Yeah.
herping with Dustin and those guys, right?
Yep, it does and Alex. Yeah, and sometimes if I get lucky enough with Rob and all them, um, nothing. I wanted to go to Mexico, but with everything going on in Mexico, it probably won't be a trip this year. I think there's a Louisiana trip booked out, some Arizona trips, and possibly Wyoming for sure. San Diego's only I can make a San Diego trip in a week or like last minute for the weekend, or I could pull a week out of my ass if I wanted to. And then probably Florida, any of the shows, Florida, Tinley, anything like that. I could probably make an extra day on either end of them. So nothing like too crazy set in stone, but there's some trips I want to do for sure. I wanted to hit Baja this year, but definitely not.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely a bit of a sketchy place to go right now.
I'm good.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's definitely a cool future trip, right? Like, well, once it chills down a bit, like Mexico has a ton of cool stuff, right? Baja,
Yeah.
and then even going down the other stuff and like listen to. I know Snake Talk is kind of like I love hearing Bob kind of rant about that a bit, but but like some of the people they bring on talking about their like herp adventures of like the Willard Eye and like hearing Holy Cross talking about that. Like Holy
Yeah.
Cross, like that guy's a Bible. I got that home defense book here. Like that's a fucking beast of a book.
Yeah, I've been down in that area. It's a rough spot to hurt for sure. I can understand why. We went and it had rained a fuck ton right before, and so I think everything is still underground because I showed up late. I showed up a couple days late, and they had found a lot of shit, or not a lot of shit, the shit that they would have found while we were there. We got some box turtles. That's pretty much it for the most part. For like numbers wise, a lot of box turtles, some collards, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's still pretty cool. And like it'd be cool
Yeah.
just to like for lizard diversity too, because like I still haven't even like I've seen like alligator lizards in
Hmm.
BC, but like in terms of like even skinks, like I haven't actually seen like a wild skink in person. Like I think I was beside one of our herping buddies when he's like, oh yeah, I just saw one go off the rock, but like I never got to see a western skink there, so
Yeah.
maybe I'll find some horn lizards here since they actually
Horn lizards are cool.
yeah, those would be fine. Apparently, you can like, or you used to be able to like drive down roads and you just see them scurry across the road. So it'll be
Yeah.
cool to see if that happens. But yeah, yeah, no, that's awesome. Well, like when we have you on again, we'll have to maybe dive deeper into the herping and maybe even bring
Yeah.
Dustin or somebody else on to bring
Yeah.
out some of those good stories.
Should do a 9 episode.
Oh
9
yeah,
episode would be
yeah,
cool.
yeah, that
I
would
know Dom's not the biggest fan of INAP, but he can watch it this time. He don't gotta listen to it.
be. Yeah.
He can watch it in person.
I'll watch it with my head down on the counter.
Got a little puddle of drool.
So,
You
you have
know
any
what?
other questions, Dom?
Uh, I'm not quite sure. I was gonna say just that a good herping episode could be good. But yeah, I'd be down for that. As to more things to talk about, no, man, I'm good. It was really good chat with you,
Yeah.
Brandon. I really, really enjoyed it. Uh, Great guest. And how about we go down the what do you what if people want to reach out to you? How do they reach out to you?
Uh, Facebook, I'm not on much, but Brandon Valentine on Facebook. Instagram is Colt_Serpents. That's pretty much it.
Sweet. You're muted again.
Stuck in today. I was to say, how about you, Michael?
Well, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Cornell's World. Go check out cornellsworld.com to purchase your PVC cages or your reptile supplies today. You can always grab a herpstat. I love my herpstats, so I'm gonna vouch for them, kind of thing. But yeah, they got heat panels, heat tape, basically anything you want, and custom cages. Greg's pretty easy to work with, and he can ship anywhere in North America. So if you have any inquiries, just shoot him an email or a message on Facebook, and yeah, he'll get back to you as quick as he can. I often see him on the computer after late into the evening, so yeah, your email will definitely not go unanswered. So yeah, thanks again to Cornell's World and as well as the Western Canadian Reptile Expo. Go check out wcre.ca, get your tickets for the upcoming show in Calgary in April, and yeah, hopefully we'll see some of you there. Alrighty, Dom, you can finish us off. And don't leave Brandon.
One sec. Am I muted? No, I'm good. Um, had to check. I think it's because my arm is like white from the light, so I can't see the mute button on my corner. So I'm having to put my shirt that's black right over the. Anyway, nobody gives a shit about that. Everybody's already gone anyway. Um, Thank you everybody for listening to us. This is a live episode, so you can either hit us up on YouTube, click those little buttons, thumbs up, follow, all that kind of crap. We do appreciate it. This live episode will only be available next week. I think this week we are releasing last week's episode. Was it Phil last week? I think so. Yeah, so it was Phil last week. So Phil should be available on the podcast. Next week's live will be... Actually, is it only Michael? No, it's in 2 weeks. So I think next week is a really good guest, if I remember well. I'm really like, are we
Next weekend will be Ryan Young. So if you want to
go.
if you want to see Ryan live, you better tune in.
Yeah, I'm actually that's a pretty cool. I'm happy to have that guest on. So to everybody, thank you for logging on. Thank you for listening to us blab on for a little over 2 hours. I don't even know what you showed me on your phone, but it was interesting. And If you want to reach out, Michael, Michael Gillian on Facebook. If you want to reach out for the podcast, Reptile Rejects on Instagram. Myself, Dominic Cabin on Facebook, or Dom's Reptiles on Instagram. And to everybody, thanks for logging on. And